Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Brewers are down in Petco Park getting set for game 2 of their series tonight. It's going to be Kyle Harrison going for Milwaukee and Walker Buehler going for San Diego. First pitch is at 6:40. NFL news, the Vikings have named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback over J.J. McCarthy. And the NBA released part of their schedule today, including a triple header that will begin at noon on the West Coast on opening day with Celtics, Pistons, 76ers, Knicks, and then OKC and Spurs. They also released the Christmas Day schedule, which was highlighted by LeBron's new team, the 76ers, taking on his old team, the Lakers. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 1. We are back, both wearing a light maroon shirt.
No,
some type of
I'm
maroon.
like Sam and you're brown, aren't you?
This is not
Am I
brown.
colorblind?
Yes, you're colorblind based on that. This is not a brown shirt.
That looks very brown to me.
Yeah, it kind of does look brown.
It's a light
Actually, now
brown.
that I see it,
It's plum.
It's plum. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I don't think he said. Did you say plum or plum?
You picked
Plum,
out
like
plum.
fruit.
Like you went to where'd you go? I don't know where you go.
Can I
you
just
go to
say
like
this?
the high end places? I could see you just
This is
walking
Viore.
in.
This is Viore.
I know it's
You walk
very
in
nice,
in
bro.
like Gucci.
For sure, 100%. I mean, when I leave my place, the first thing I say is,
I'm going to
Where's-
the radio.
"Yeah, where's my Gucci shoes?" And that's the only way I leave.
Can I say this? Is there's all this stuff going on. I mean, the Padres are a game out. They've
Yeah.
got like the hottest, offense in baseball. They're 13-4 in their last 17 games. I wanted to start the show by saying I respect Crayola for coming up with a name for all the different shades of the colors. Like, think about how many shades of red they've had historically in the history of Crayola.
A lot of shades.
Yet they're like,
Yeah.
fire engine red, cherry blossom pink,
Mhm.
plum red. Like, there's a guy that like his job is to
he's
determine,
the best at it. Like
or is he
ever.
just AI at this point?
At this point, he might be.
He's
AI.
probably just AI.
But back in the day,
It was like a
That's
guy.
not
There's a
how
lot
it
of
worked.
pressure. He probably couldn't sleep at
that's
night.
not
It's
how
like,
it worked.
I need a descriptive word for red.
Are you using where are you on the? We got plenty of time. There's 3 hours today, like every day.
We only have 3 hours.
How much are you using ChatGPT now in your or any of these AIs? Like,
I mean, it's
getting
that's a
deep for
personal
me.
question.
it's getting deep for me.
You use it for everything.
No, I'm
We went
just
to-
starting to.
Dude, we went to Mexico and you're like, how do I get on the plane? I'm like, just get on the plane, dude. You've been doing it for
Wait a
like
minute.
30
Listen,
years.
listen. We had a straight like itinerary. By the time, and we didn't even
We
use it.
didn't touch it.
I don't know why we didn't use it, but we had like a straight itinerary, and we were asking it. I'm like, no, put this in a presentation so I could
It's like
send
a
it to
16-page
John.
book report.
That's exactly what it was doing.
Can I make this statement about you?
Sure.
You are very
Why am I so
reliant.
close?
You are very reliant on AI.
Right now,
It's not a negative.
right now at the moment, and I don't think this is anything. Like, I think it's only going to get. Well, obviously, it's only going to get worse.
You're like, John, I'm going to go to dinner tonight. Let me ask AI. I'm like,
Somebody
"But you used to go
sends
to
me
dinner."
like an invoice for something, it's immediately going to AI, and I'm like, am I getting screwed? Am I?
Wait, so
what's
you
happening
ask
here?
AI like when you get the $10 bill from like Spectrum for your like modem?
No, but like
Like, hey, is
if I
this
get
fair?
if I get an invoice for something, it could be around the house, or you're trying to buy something. I'm like, can you tell me if am I getting screwed here or not? And it starts breaking down. I would actually go with this. The real repair should be around this amount of dollars. I'm using it a lot.
I also feel like it just says whatever you want it to. I'm like, hey, I'm collecting Jace Bowen cards. Do you think that's a good idea? Yes, Jace Bowen's going to be a
great
star.
Idea.
It always like appeases you,
I
right?
love that. And then if you say, well,
Yeah,
I don't know if I actually like the idea.
I agree.
I get it. That makes sense. Yeah, there's definitely a lot.
Ridiculous, dude. All right, Padres last night. Another, Alan, really good win.
Yeah.
Trailing the Brewers, who are 30 games over, 2-0. Casey Mize, is he going to be good? He allows the early 2-run home run. He ends up being very good. And then the Padres do what they do. I mean, Ty France has put together a year, hits a solo home run. Jackson Merrill's put together a month. What an incredible month he's put together. He hits the eventual game winner. And the Padres beat the Brewers. They're 13-4 in their last 17, and they remain a game behind the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. Phillies and Diamondbacks right now just won't lose when the Padres are winning, but Padres, one of their better wins here over the Brewers last night.
Yeah, the way they're winning too, it's very playoff-like, if that makes sense. I mean, even these couple of games against the Astros, think about how the Padres are winning these games. I mean, I guess you look at they have 4 of their last 5 wins here.
Mm-hmm.
The game against the Diamondbacks, 5-1, great performance from another starting pitcher, handed over to the bullpen, just get enough from the offense. The 2 wins they get against the Astros, 3-2 win, 7-2 win. Again, it's get good starting pitching, which has not obviously been very normal for the San Diego Padres, at least over these last couple of months. And then last night, kind of the same thing. Isn't this the pedigree of how the Padres are going to win in the playoffs? You need good starting pitching. You need to hand it over to your bullpen. Can you get 5 solid innings from your starter?
That's a great point.
And then get it over to your bullpen. Let your bullpen do what it does. And you're just kind of scratching off enough runs. But it's different because I think what you just said about Jackson Merrill, what a clutch. I mean, how clutch was that?
Very.
You're down 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Late
really
innings.
no offense.
Yep.
You got the pitcher for the Brewers, who was kind of interesting. I was listening also to the Brewers broadcast from their perspective.
Did you hear my buddy Josh Maurer?
I think it was TV.
TV
radio.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But basically, this guy's never gone into the 7th inning
Until last night.
But his pitch count was low, 75, 76 pitches, whatever it was. So I kind of understand, but once they gave up a base hit, Ty France gave up the base hit, or Ty France got the base hit, I thought maybe that's when they pull him. So it did kind of feel like they held him a little bit long. I did hear something else about their bullpen. Maybe their bullpen was a little taxied or whatever the case is.
Yep.
But that situation, that moment on a Monday night at Petco Park, that place is, packed. And Jackson Merrill doesn't just barely get one over the wall. 400 and change, whatever it was. Hits a 2-run homer, and the Padres not just beat one of the best teams in all of baseball, but again, I think, John, for me, stylistically, how they're winning as of late, they're playoff type of wins in the sense of that's how the Padres have to win. Doesn't have to be pretty and beautiful, but they are grinding their way, playing good baseball to go get those W's.
This is what Preller envisioned trading for Casey Mize. Can I get someone that can give me 6 innings? And I can go what he did yesterday, Matsui, Morejon, Miller. I mean, that's all I'm asking for. I don't need to throw Adrian Morejon for 5 outs. I mean, he's great, but let's keep him in the role that he's in. 1 clean inning, Mason Miller, 1 clean inning, and let's see if we can get to the postseason with Mize going 5 or 6 innings and Robbie Ray going 5 or 6 innings. To your point on Jackson Merrill, since the All-Star break, this dude is on an unbelievable heater. He's hit 340 with 9 home runs and 23 RBIs. The All-Star break just happened. He's hit 9 home runs since the All-Star break. He's homered in 3 consecutive games. He's hitting everything hard.
I think AC said too. Didn't he say yesterday the highest OPS
since July 19th?
Since one of those days.
Did you see the ball he nearly hit out yesterday?
Yes.
That was a fastball, an eye-level fastball.
Deep center.
That he took to the opposite field that he hit 390 feet. I'm like, how did you turn around that pitch? So the Merrill thing's incredible, and I'm with you. I want to see them win 3-2. When the offense scores 10, that's awesome.
Awesome.
But in the postseason, you're not scoring 10 runs, but you could score 3. And when you do score 3, you better win the game. And that's what they did yesterday, right? Can you win 3-2 behind good pitching? And they are built to win 3-2 behind good pitching.
It's funny because, you mentioned that, Philly and Arizona, because there's always this, there's this piece when they win and they don't gain ground.
Yep.
There's a little bit of was that for nothing? And here's the reality. Of course it wasn't for nothing. But you remember after the All-Star break, and you go 2-5 after the All-Star break?
Yes, before the 3-game sweep in Miami.
And they gained ground.
Yeah, that's right.
And we said that, like, this is why so many Padre fans, I think, were saying,
Good point.
why aren't they selling? Like, I don't need to know they gained ground because the rest of the NL sucks. Like, outside of these top 3-4 teams, how are you gaining ground? You're backing into a playoff spot. Well, it's adjusted now.
Yep.
Now they're playing phenomenal baseball, and they're still on the outside looking in. But I wouldn't worry about that if you're a Padre fan. Yep. I think the most important thing right now is the Padres handle their own business. Take care of the opponent that you got in front of you. We were talking about that they were going to go through a stretch. Arizona, they were going to go through Arizona. Who they just played before? Houston and Milwaukee. All three of these teams, yes, they're different levels, different calibers, some of them hovering around 500. But for the most part, they're going to be playoff teams. How would you look in that stretch? They're 2 games over that stretch with 2 games left to go against the Brewers.
Completely agree with you. You don't have to obsess over Philadelphia and Arizona today. Listen, if there's 4 days left in the season,
I do obsess, but it just,
I don't think you have to.
At least they're winning.
If there's 4 days left in the season, Alan, and they're a game back, I'm obsessing over every inning that the Phillies and the Diamondbacks are playing. And I did see this note today from Bob Nightingale. Arizona has 9 games remaining against Colorado and San Francisco. And I want to say it's something crazy. Like they've lost 2 games against those teams this year.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of an advantage to Arizona. But then I took a step back and I said what you said. I said, you know what? If they play like this the rest of the way home, and they don't have to go 13-4 every 17 games, that's great baseball, right? At 750 baseball. If they play 600 baseball, in my opinion, they're in. If the Phillies play 620 baseball and the Diamondbacks play 620 baseball, you can't control it. I think just go play consistently well for a month and a half. You can overcome a game. We've all watched baseball our entire lives. They could be in the postseason by 6 games, Alan, before it's all said and done, or they could miss by 6 games. It'll take care of itself if they play well.
Just went on Tankathon, which has become
love Tankathon,
arguably one of my favorite websites.
Yeah,
Padres still have 7 left against the Rockies and the Giants.
That's good.
So
yeah, similar.
It's not crazy. And once they're done with the Brewers over these next 2 games,
give it to
their
them.
strength of schedule will also change. You know, they will kind of do that adjustment. Brewers have the best record in all of baseball. Get these next 2 out of the way. If you split these next 2, you know, obviously that's going to change here.
All right, Darnay Tripp, NBC7, great resource and voice on all things Padres, joining us live at 4:30. Eric Pincus, the NBA has released some of its upcoming season schedule, just some of the schedule.
Does LeBron still have a little bit of power?
Based on the schedule, I would say, yeah, I think so.
Dude's
I think so. And where are the Pelicans? Nowhere to be found on opening night.
What?
Unbelievable.
The Pels are not on opening night.
Eric Pincus will join us at 4 p.m. from Bleacher
King
Report.
Center.
I know they're not going to.
It's a conspiracy against Zion.
And they're not on Christmas Day either.
How do you walk away saying, that's it, we found our sponsor? It's a Smoothie King Center.
I do like a good smoothie.
I do too,
to be
but
honest
I don't know
with
if that's
All right, on the other side, is the Padres sale officially official? We have the latest reporting on that. Plus, do we owe Padres hitting coach Steven Souza Jr. an apology?
You do. You definitely
I may have to. Stay with us here on Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, guys, it is Schaefer again for my friends at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. This is a great month to get to Starlight Pool. Next level chill. You can soak up the sun, soak in the views at San Diego's ultimate rooftop pool. Day pass is starting at just $40. So grab your friends, relax, and make it a pool day to remember. Plus, keep the weekend vibes going with Sunday pool parties at Starlight Pool featuring live DJs, cocktails, cabanas, and all-day rooftop energy. That's at the brand new hotel and spa at Jamul, where you can experience elevated luxury with their refined hotel stay. They've got the rooftop relaxation, the indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And now you can take your stay to the next level. They've got exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. While you're at Hamul, you'll love their dining options like Hamul 23 with their lobster buffet every day. You can enjoy all you can eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Let's go with the reads.
All right, with the iHeartRadio app, you could stream us wherever you are 24 hours a day. Just search for San Diego Sports 760 to stream us live all day, every day. You can leave your comments for us by using that talkback microphone. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want us to talk about. Make us a preset so we pop up each time you open up that app. San Diego Sports 760, always live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, we've got Darnay Tripp on the show at 4:30.
Yep.
Eric Pincus, Bleacher Report on the NBA schedule being released for opening night and Christmas Day. He'll join us at 4 p.m. Listen to this stat real quick before we get to the Padres ownership, which may be officially official.
So you don't want to do the Christmas Day ranking that we said?
No, but Christmas Day games or best Christmas
Day game rankings. You said we are going to do top 50. We are going to do the top 50 years of Christmas Day games.
That'd be good radio.
And I think we should, maybe at 3:30, we should
1977.
I think top 15 personally.
Top 15.
I think that's top 15.
Oh, yeah. Top 15.
Yeah.
Listen to this. 2 National League players hitting 340 or better with a 1,000 OPS or better in the second half. Who are those 2 players? We know one is Jackson Merrill.
You said the NL?
NL.
I was going to say
340 with a 1,000 OPS. Brent.
PCA.
Pete Crow Armstrong. And Jackson Merrill and
it's not going to be.
Keep it closer.
No, I don't think it's going to be Shohei or anything.
No, even closer than Shohei. Like closer in proximity. No, but also in that general realm. Mm-hmm. Like he plays for the Padres and it's good.
Manny?
It's not Manny. It's not Ty France.
No, it is Ty
freaking France.
That's how good he's been.
By the way, you know what was lost yesterday?
He homered.
not only did he homer, he's the dude that got the single before
That's
Jackson Merrill hit the
exactly right,
2-run homer.
And you mentioned the fact that you thought maybe they'd go to the bullpen there. And I agree with you. But their bullpen was taxed going into that game.
Ty France
has a 900 OPS this year. I think it's 891. But that's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
He's been incredible. And I am thinking now, and maybe it's a conversation more for another day, like when the season ends. Yeah. I need him back. He's on a 1-year deal.
Sure.
He's got to be back. He's in the midst of a career year. He played college ball here. He came up with the Padres. He's back here. Keep him here.
Isn't that where we got plenty of time that we do this, but there's a lot of bitching and complaining that comes with AJ Preller.
Yeah.
Right.
Great signing.
He's good at those. Like, he's also very good. It's like the guy that, all right, I got $50 to work with and I need a good pair of jeans. I'm going to Nordstrom Rack and I'm going to go sit there for an hour and a half until, like he'll find the kind of the diamond.
Yep.
And it gets lost. It gets lost in the shuffle because we can't stop going back to these old deals.
Bogarts. Yeah, exactly.
But that's unbelievable what he's able to do. Yeah.
All right. So Dennis Lin today in The Athletic reporting that the Padres sale can be finalized Monday by an MLB owner vote. They need 22 yeses out of the 29 clubs other than San Diego to approve the sale. Here's my hunch.
What if San Diego was like, no, we're out?
We're not voting for this. Wouldn't you believe if you bring something like this to a vote, you'd have to have the votes? Isn't that how this works in professional sports?
It's done. I mean,
it's a formality.
It's a formality, and obviously it makes sense why it would be a formality. But yes, you're not going to get this far down the line. Remember when there was 3 or 4 different bidders for the Padres?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There's Lake Up. There's the other guy,
the Major League owners
from San Diego.
Dan
the other
Freakin.
Yep. I think the moment that you got down to, once a decision was made of it's going to be this group, all that stuff is pretty much already.
They were vetted.
Yeah, like how are you gonna go with all these reports and then you find out that that's not the guy?
You want to buy the team? Nah, sorry, Rocky's saying no. I would assume it's unanimous, in fact, and I would think we'd find out if it's unanimous. But how could it not be? So anyway, that's a pretty significant day for the organization because at that point, you begin to think about what that's going to mean. Jose Feliciano, what will his imprint be? No, it's not like on August, 15th, he's going to be like, change everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, his imprint will begin.
No, it's the start of the next chapter. And, I've said this, you've said this before as well. It could either be one of the most important, critical moments in San Diego sports history, for the good or for the bad. Honestly, that's, I don't want to sound dramatic about it, but ownership is everything. If you're working for, a startup company and that company grows and grows, and then eventually it's like this Goliath comes in and buys it, it's either great for that company or it's not. And I think for, obviously for the Padres, I have to imagine this new ownership understands how important the Padres are to the city, how unfortunately this is the only game in town when it comes to the top four major sports, and how they can, obviously just complement what's been done over these last handful of years, but also run a business to where there's a legitimate chance that the Padres can be in the mix for a World Series for years to come. Because I think ownership really, truly can, that's the impact ownership will have. They're either getting you closer to a World Series or they're not. So I think it's going to be significant once it's done, and it's going to take us 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road to really know that, hey, these are the right owners for the future of this franchise.
And Dennis, in his reporting today, did say that these new owners were aware of the transactions that the Padres have been making recently, including adding salary. They did add over $6 million of salary at the deadline in the Mize and Ray deal. So they did, sign off on the addition of $6 million of salary at the deadline here in 2026.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I do think, honestly, because the last couple of years, a big storyline has been like, how are they going to make moves at the deadline without adding money? Sure. And now that was less of a story,
You want Mason Miller? Cool. Your top prospect in all of base, or one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He's got to go. It it wasn't a deal. I know Mason Miller is different because he's under control.
Yep.
But it wasn't like, hey, go spend whatever you want. The money doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. On the other side, does Allen owe Steven Souza Jr. an apology?
Wow.
The hitting coach for the Padres.
You know what? I'm going to the
You're
game
going
today.
tonight, right?
So because I'm going tonight, write something down. Just a nice apologetic letter.
Use ChatGPT.
Get some nice, I don't know, maybe it's just some chocolates or something. I'll hand it to him and I'll say, hey, the guy I do a radio show with, he was demolishing you for 2 months. And I'm here to apologize on his behalf because he didn't come.
You could write it in 10 seconds with ChatGPT.
No, I want this to be really handwritten on your end.
All right. The latest on the Padres offense on the other side, Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report on the NBA schedule, plus Darnay Tripp from NBC7 on the Padres at 4:30. Stay with us on Schaefer and Slate with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres and Brewers are downtown in Petco getting set for game 2 of their series tonight. It's going to be Kyle Harrison going for the Crew and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. One NFL note, the Vikings named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback today over J.J. McCarthy. And the NBA released part of their schedule today, including an opening day triple header that will begin at noon here on the West Coast, starting with the Celtics and Pistons, followed by 76ers Knicks, and we get an OKC Spurs nightcap. The league also released all of the Christmas Day games, highlighted by LeBron's new team, the 76ers, taking on his old team, at least one of them, the Lakers. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, I'm excited to hear this apology coming up in a moment. Steven Souza Jr. Steven Souza Jr. is the first-year hitting coach of the Padres. Mm-hmm. It could not have started worse. Could not have started worse. Terrible. A number of people called for his job in the first half of the season. All right,
I was the only one
that didn't
that stood by him.
And I mean, based on the way they're playing now, he might be back. In fact, there's probably a decent chance he'll be back. Listen to this since the break. Padres offensive rankings in Major League Baseball, not the National League. 277 batting average, second in the sport. 223 hits, second in the sport. 796 OPS as a team.
This is since when?
All-Star break. Fourth. Run scored, fifth. Homers, 31, sixth. So that's the Padres since the All-Star break, which is now a good amount of games, right? 17, 18 games.
Yeah.
They had the 10-game roadie.
Yeah.
So they've played
not a huge sample size,
but more than a week. It's more than the Colin Cowherd. Over the last 5 games, the Dodgers have the worst ERA. Stop, Colin.
On specific 3 p.m., 3:05 first pitches in August.
Versus the Cardinals today, and like 10 runs. It's unbelievable. But seriously, though, and you're right, it's not 100 games, but it's not 5 games either. Let's say it's between 15 and 20. What do we make of the resurgence of it's not even a resurgence.
Yeah.
The performance of the offense.
What do I make of it? All right, just keep doing it. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Their numbers were so bad to start off the season. Not even just to start off the season, for the first 100 games. So maybe not 100, but probably 85 to 90 games. Yeah. You're basically last in every category. On top of that, you're 3 superstars that you have like no margin for error. Manny's got to be good. Merrill's got to be good. Tatis has got to be good. They all sucked. What were people supposed to say?
Sure.
Tatis didn't hit a home run for the first 50 games. Manny at one point had the worst batting average in all of baseball. Jackson Merrill, you kind of started getting to a point where you're like, hey, Merrill maybe just had a good rookie season, and he's not the player that we were hoping to, obviously for him to eventually be. It wasn't even like, it was a combination of the team performing so awful. And offensively, they were bad in every category that you could think of. They didn't do small things the right way. There was absolutely no slug. And on top of that, all your stars sucked. It was Steven Souza Jr.'s first year as the hitting coach. You already came in with a manager in Craig Stammen where you're kind of questioning, hey, his lack of experience. So it comes with the territory. And what I would tell you now is we sit here and things have turned around for the Padres offensively. All right, keep doing your thing. I mean, there's nobody saying you got to be a top 5 offense in all baseball. We know that's not what the Padres are. But can you be 15th? That's all we're asking for. Be one of the average hitting teams across the sport, and hopefully your pitching and your bullpen could get you where you want to get to, at least getting to the postseason. I don't think there was anything wrong with the overreaction because it was real and these numbers were awful, and there's the inexperience and the not knowing if these people who've been appointed these positions are the right people for those positions. I thought it was fair.
It's an interesting apology. I'm kidding. To your point, I do think at least what they've shown over these 15 to 20 games is they can be a top 15 offense in the sport from here on out. They don't have to be second in batting average or 6th in home runs.
Absolutely. Nor is that going to happen.
But if they're 9th in average and 15th in home runs for the final 40-something games, paired with their bullpen and additions they've made to the rotation, I think that equals hopefully a postseason spot. So I hope that's what we're trending towards with the Padres, who, again, continue to trend up in their chances of reaching the postseason. But at the end of the day, if you're a fan of the D-backs or the Phillies or the Padres, it's musical chairs. You got 2 of them for 3. So, someone's on the outside. And it could be a very good team. There could be a team that wins 87, 88 games, the way these teams are playing. And, there's no way to get around it. Cubs and Braves and Dodgers and Brewers are in. So there's 2 spots for 3 teams. Who's going to be on the outside looking in?
Here's a good thing. 2-3 weeks ago, we thought there was 1 spot.
True.
2-3 weeks ago, we also thought there was 5 teams. So I think the closer we get to September, you could really be in a 3-team race for 2 spots.
I think so.
Right. So like, I do think that favors the Padres position compared to 3 weeks ago. I do think it looks better today than it did, but you take everything out of the way. What the part that's most promising is they're just playing better baseball. And it's the fact that you kind of try to control your own destiny here. And you're right. You know, how would you feel if they won 87, 88 games and they didn't make the postseason?
I think it's zero sum, dude.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but that's a different conversation than
80 wins.
Then you got to 80 and you were trying to back your way in and another team got in at 82.
What would you say though? Because again, like we're saying, there's 3 teams that appear to all be at least good. They're not bad. And one's missing it. It might be a conversation for Phoenix radio if they care. But in San Diego, if the Padres win 88 games, what's their record right now? I mean, what would that take, by the way? Like they play
6 games over 500 right now.
So they play relatively well to do it, right? So the record right now, let's do this exercise. They have 63 wins. To get to 88, they got to go 25-17. That's accurate. That's good baseball. That win percentage is high.
Yeah, that ain't easy.
So let's say they did that.
They've gone this far into the season
without
only
doing
6
that.
games over 500.
So if they did it and they missed, I'll tell you right now, dude, I would not have a ton of sympathy, I don't think, on air. I think, or just in general, I think my opinion would be you made moves as if you were positioning to be a postseason team, not just a postseason team, but one that was capable of doing something.
Yeah.
And then you were on the outside.
Here's the problem. I'm not trying to cop them out because I think, you know, obviously, if you go out and make 2 moves at the deadline and you give up some more draft capital, the idea is you got to go make the postseason. And especially because Arizona was very quiet at the postseason. You know, they weren't, or at the postseason, at the deadline. They weren't as aggressive. Philadelphia, I think, is going to be there when the dust settles, but you know, we'll see. Every time I keep saying that, everyone's hovering around. Yeah, everyone's hovering around. So maybe they have chemistry issues there. You just don't know what it is. It wouldn't be the first time a very talented team on paper that has made the postseason before doesn't make the postseason. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
2023 Padres.
That's a great example there. But I'm not trying to make an excuse for them, but I think it would also just kind of point out to that's what happens when you have a 2-month terrible stretch.
I agree.
That's what happens when, you know, we know that their roster is not perfect. We know that if you can't get in, you said 87 or 88?
I think I said in my hypothetical 88. 25-17 is 88, which means you're well over 500.
But it's not like you. Honestly, I would in a weird way. It's like, all right, it wasn't meant to be this year, but is that all on the team? 88 wins is not a terrible win total for this team.
Yeah, it'd be 14 games over 500. They won 90 games last year. It's very similar. 2 games worse, but very similar. I think they are kind of trending there, by the way. They're going to sit in that 86 to 89 range would be my guess. I think
88 gets you in.
And I think 88 gets you in as well.
The most recent case of something like this happening in 2019, the Cleveland went 93-69 and missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Oh, it can happen.
93 wins.
And 93 is a huge number. Now in 2019, there weren't 3 wild cards.
Right.
That was pre-COVID, pre-CBA.
Which was absurd, which is why I hated the postseason in Major League Baseball.
You're saying because it was so hard to get in. Dude, back in the day when we were kids, nobody was getting in, right? It was like,
and that's what every time we're off air, you keep telling me I want 2 in the NL and 2 in the AL to get in. That's what you always tell me.
No way.
You're like, I'm old school, Al.
No, I'm not. There was a year, dude.
You even said, get off my lawn. There was something about your lawn or something like that.
I didn't say that. But there was a year where the Braves and the Giants, weren't the Braves and the Giants in the same division? As dumb as that sounds. And wasn't there a year that both the Braves and the Giants won 100-something games? It was pre-wild card. And they played like a 163 or 162, and one was out and one was in with over 100 wins. Over 100 wins.
And again, I think baseball's got it right with it. Yesterday, you and I were talking about what are the sports that have it right. I think baseball has it right the way they have it.
I think 1 team from the American League should get in, and 3 teams from the National League.
Love that.
Or how about just make it like the Premier League, just most wins.
Most wins. That's right. They do it on the points.
It's just most wins.
That's it.
Whoever's got the most wins.
That was 1993 when the Giants and the Braves both tied at 103.
103 and 1 missed the postseason, correct?
Yes.
103-59. Not good enough. Sorry.
I will say this. if they get to 88 wins, let's play out your scenario again.
88. 25 and 17.
14
finish.
games over 500.
Good winning percentage overall.
You're upset at them for not making the postseason?
I think I'm going to be at least kind of.
I know. I get. No, I think most people would be.
I think I am.
But I think I could kind of take a step back and be like, Jesus. I mean,
but it
look at
depends
the
how
run
it
that they
happens.
went on.
But hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
They win 88 games, but they lose 2 out of 3 to Arizona. Last 3 days of the
That's
season.
different.
And they
That's
got
different.
88. You got 88.
Yeah,
they
no,
win the tiebreaker.
but that's different. I think it was in your hands. Like,
true.
If you just keep going neck and neck with these two teams and everybody just kind of keeps raising the bar and you're getting your side done, you're beating up on the bad teams, kind of playing 500 against these squads that are going to be in the postseason, there's only so much you control there. Nobody wants to hear that. Let's see what happens. Obviously, if they don't make the playoffs, there's much bigger questions than anything else, but at least we're having a legitimate conversation now about them actually getting to a win total this year that's respectable. And it sounds realistic.
It does sound realistic. And we'll tell you more about what's on the line tonight for the Padres in game 2 against Milwaukee. Plus, coming up at 4 p.m., Eric Pincus, Bleacher Report on the NBA's initial schedule release. Opening night, Christmas Day, a couple of other days released as well. Eric Pincus will join us coming up at 4 p.m. And Darnay Tripp from NBC7 on the Padres surge here in the second half. Will join us live at 4:30 on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, SDFC is back on the road this Saturday when they take on LAFC. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren begins at 7 p.m. on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. They still got another game coming up tomorrow as part of this cup
Leagues
that they're
Cup.
in, Leagues Cup. And then SDFC coming up, or SDFC, LAFC coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Up Saturday.
Looking forward to that.
Big game coming up.
Speaking of big games, tonight, the pitching matchup, Kyle Harrison, who's been unbelievable for Milwaukee. By the way, the pitcher they beat yesterday, remember Josh Maurer told us they'd only lost twice ever.
He was phenomenal.
In his 16 career
really
starts, making it now 3 times after last night. Now, Harrison has been unbelievable. He's 9-2 with a 2.84. He's facing Walker Buehler and his 5.07 ERA. But again, Padres 13-4 in their last 17 games. So I'm not going to just say, well, it's Harrison Buehler. How many times have we done that in the last 10 days? Like, this pitching matchup's really favorable, or it's not favorable, and then the opposite actually plays out on field. It's happened a lot.
Yeah, that has happened a lot. But Brewers got a squad. They got a good team.
Really good.
But again, it kind of goes back to the same thing that we've hit on before when it comes to Milwaukee. There's certain franchises you just can't give them the benefit of the doubt. So I think we said last year, didn't they have home field against the Dodgers? They lose in 4.
Yep.
I mean, so there's this like piece of the Brewers.
They scored 3 runs.
I don't care if there's 60 games over 500. It kind of doesn't matter until they get to the postseason. What do you do in the postseason? This is the same thing. It's like, as great as Josh Allen is, if Josh Allen's in a playoff game, I'm like, yeah, how am I going to give him the benefit of the doubt over? I mean, last year they lost to Denver, right? They lost to the Broncos. And you face this with, it's in every single sport. There's a player out there where you're like, yeah, there's a player or there's a team. The Clippers can do whatever the hell they want. Once they get to the postseason, people are like, yeah.
Yep. Brewers scored 3 runs last year in 4 games against LA.
You have to remember too, Buster only said last week that the big hang up for the Brewers and the Skubal trade was that Detroit wanted Harrison and the Brewers wouldn't give him up because he still has like 5 years of control. So that's how much they think of him, that, Detroit wanted him and they're like, no, that's okay. We'll pass.
Can you blame them for that?
No, I do get it, but
and he's good.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I definitely get it until these two teams lock up. If this plays out, like, just imagine this. They meet, Skubal wins 2 games, and you lose in 6 or 7. Like, at that point, you're like, you could see the impact of this one player making on the series. So I do understand it. It's hard to put all your eggs in one season. But also, at the end of the day, like, you also are trying to win a World Series, which the Brewers have never done. Is that correct, Brent? Do I have that right when I say that?
They went once in 83 and lost to the Cardinals.
Yeah, so they've never won. Yeah, so they've never won a World Series. So when you've never won a World Series, aren't you willing to go further in an effort to do it? I feel like that's the Padres motto.
Brother, I get it. If they're saying, for me to get a chance, you said Logan Henderson was in the deal?
Or was it Kyle Harrison?
Oh, Kyle
Harrison.
Harrison.
The dude who's pitching tonight.
I'd have to see him. But this dude yesterday.
He was awesome yesterday. I agree.
Dude was money.
Legit. And we didn't see their bullpen, to your point.
And I know he got through 6 and then he gives up the 2-run homer to Jackson Merrill. But he had the Padres all over the place. His pitches had beautiful movement. I mean, he was phenomenal. We'll see how this pitcher is tonight. But like, there is something about that. It's like, wait, I got a guy that I think could potentially win playoff games to begin with.
Yeah.
I have to give him up in 5 years control for Skubal for 2 months.
Days.
Brother, that's I
get it.
I can be sold the other way on that.
No, I agree. Of course you can. I get it.
And I could also, like, what if, hypothetically, what if my guy can be a number 2 starter for the next 4 or 5 years? I'm not telling you he's the ace, but a number 2 starter on top of pitchers that they already have that have the ability to be an ace.
Would you rather, here's the question at the end of the day, because nobody can guarantee anything. Obviously, if we could, they'd make these moves. But would you rather have a better chance of winning the World Series in 2026 than you have right now? Or, a consistent chance to continue to win in 27, 28, 29, 30? Like, that's kind of the risk reward, right? It's like, we have I'm making it up, 15% chance of winning the World Series if we're Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Maybe we can bump it to 25. Do we want the 25% chance, or do we want to sit at 9% for the next 4 years?
Here's what I'd rather do. I'd rather give something away in my farm system that's
That's something that's
unbelievable.
helping me right now in the
That's
major leagues.
unbelievable. And have my current pitching staff that I already know looks like it's going to be good on top of Scooble.
Yeah.
So I guess the question was more, what are you willing to give up? I'd rather give up one of my top 2 or 3 prospects
than a guy that's 9-2
already
in the big leagues.
established in the big league.
Now, someone is questioning Brent because at Boro_92-1 says it's Logan Henderson.
He's right. I double checked.
Okay. Okay. So it was Logan Henderson.
So the dude from
last
yesterday.
night. By the way, I get it confused too. By the way,
I'm not trading him.
Harrison Henderson.
I'm letting Scooble go. I swear on my life, I'm not
He's
trading him.
I'm with you. He's very good.
He's phenomenal, and you got 5 years of control of him.
I get it.
He's already in the big leagues, looking that good.
But was it a deal where they had to have Henderson, yet the Dodgers were able to trade 3 players from their system? Isn't that interesting?
I think I genuinely believe this. Something didn't match up right. Because why are you also trading him 2 days before the deadline ends?
You know what didn't match up right? His agent said publicly he wants to be in LA.
100%. So I
so
think
he showed his hand.
I think there was also other factors, and that was one of the other factors.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If the Brewers are known for cropping players, you're going to tell me that Detroit would have no interest. By the way, what you say, they're like a game and a half out from making the playoffs.
Ground
we had somebody on last week that covers the Tigers because we wanted some more info on Casey Mize.
Yep.
You say something to the effect of, or no, maybe I read some articles about this, that they were surprised they didn't get some more bullpen help because I guess their bullpen's really bad. That basically they were saying, forget the rest of this season. You're going to tell me that there was nobody in that Brewers farm system that they would have been happy with?
The Brewers farm system is incredible.
That's my point. That's my point. Now, like that doesn't add up to me, but they want the starter that's already pitching and could be in a playoff.
I had read that the one kid they didn't want to give up, and now we're getting, is the number 1 prospect in the sport is Jesus Mate, okay, a middle infielder. This incredible prospect, they said he's off limits. He's untouchable. So maybe because of that, LA said, okay, if he's off limits, then let's go to your major league team. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And Detroit said, okay, if he is off limits, then now all of a sudden we're going to look at Henderson. If he is off limits, and maybe LA said nobody's off limits.
That dude was a stud yesterday.
He was really good.
I was like, can we get 1 or 2 of those guys? I mean, he's a stud. He's really good.
No doubt.
So was Casey Mize.
Yeah. So yeah, Casey Mize, by the way, I'm glad you mentioned it because we all had opinions after the first start, and the opinions were this guy ain't it. And then Robbie Ray, it wasn't great. Yeah. To see Mize pitch like that, I'm encouraged for what it means for Ray as well, and for what it means for Mize over the rest of the regular season.
Here's what I can do since, later tonight, I'll be going to the game, and I'm already going to have something for Steven Souza.
Of course you will.
But not from me, from you. So what I'd like to see is, I don't know if you want, like maybe within the same letter where you're apologizing, you can have like a section of it that the top section is for Steven Souza Jr. Then have something for Casey Mize, because some of the stuff you said after that first L that he took for the Padres, honestly,
I would write my own
some
letter.
of the most disrespectful stuff that I've
vitriol.
Ever seen. Then the Robbie Ray stuff on top of that, and Robbie
Ray pitch
hasn't come back and sending. So maybe with Robbie Ray, you just say something as simple as like, "I'll get back to you."
Here's what I would say to Souza in my letter today. Thank you for listening to me on the stances for Merrill and Tatis, and for listening to some of the advice I had. Thank you for listening to the show and utilizing that in their approach. It's really benefited the team. Thank you, John. All right. On the other side, Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report.
Jonathan Schaefer.
The NBA schedule is kind of out. Some of it
out.
Is out for 2026-27. And we'll break it down with Eric Pincus, plus the latest on Kawhi Leonard, what happens next in that saga, plus Darnay Tripp from NBC7 at 4:30 on the Padres surge here in the second half. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Brewers are getting set for game 2 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Kyle Harrison going for the Crew, and Walker Buehler is on the hill for the Friars. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. In NFL news and notes, the Vikings have named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback today over J.J. McCarthy. And the NBA released part of their schedule today, including an opening day triple header that will begin at noon here on the West Coast with Celtics Pistons, and then we'll have 76ers Knicks, followed by OKC Spurs for the nightcap. The league also released the Christmas Day games, which were highlighted by LeBron James's new team, the 76ers, taking on one of his old teams, the Lakers. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, hour 2 here on Schaefer and Sliwa. Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report on the NBA schedule initially being released opening night, Christmas Day. That's out.
That schedule says everything. Everything that you need to know of where the interest is in the NBA. If you don't get an opening week, like, you know, one of those main marquee matchups, those first 2 days, or you don't get something on Christmas, I don't know how relevant you are in the league.
No, it's a really good point. I did find it interesting that they announced today that the opening night, you know, it was a doubleheader, I think, last year. It's a triple header now with a game that tips off at 3 p.m. between the Celtics and the Pistons. Like, we're going to play a 3 p.m. Eastern game between Boston and Detroit. I'm here for it. I mean, the more the merrier. I'm here for it.
It's odd. I don't know if I'm here for it.
No,
like it's kind of throwing me off a little bit.
The
now,
3 p.m. game.
I think for us, I think we're good because.
Did you give him the right number for Eric Pincus?
I could have given him the wrong number. You carry the show for a second.
You're going to go in there?
Yeah.
Go give Brent it. This is
no, you're good. You're good. I'll put it.
Why don't you tell the listeners? Yeah, why don't you tell the listeners his number? You see what I'm saying? Just say it over the air,
John,
and then Brent will have it.
John, do me a favor.
Stop talking.
Just carry things for a quick second here.
All right.
My eyes are gone. That's the problem.
You gave him the wrong number?
I don't know if I did.
I think you did.
All right. We got it. He's on it.
All right. What were we saying?
We were talking about your.
Okay. Here's my first question for Eric Pincus when he comes on.
Okay.
Hear me out. And I don't want your answer right now. Tell me this isn't a very good question. You can only attend one game. Sixers at Knicks.
Okay.
No, one of these two. Sixers at Knicks, Thunder at Spurs.
Sixers at Knicks.
I said don't answer it. Because I want to ask Eric Pincus.
I'm making sure this guy has the right things. That's the only reason why.
This show has gone, it's derailed.
I think for me, first off, Madison Square Garden.
Just go to Colin.
Madison Square Garden.
Right.
LeBron freaking rocking a Philly jersey out of nowhere. Jaylen Brown rocking it as well.
I want to hear what Eric Pincus has to say.
They're going to get their rings.
I don't want him hearing what you're saying.
Okay.
All right, Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report covers the NBA. We see some of the schedules been released. Eric, we appreciate you joining us here in San Diego on Schaefer and Sliwa. I just asked this to Alan. He said it was simple, but you can only attend one. It's Sixers at Knicks opening night, or it's Thunder at Spurs on opening night. Which one are you attending and why? And thanks for joining us.
That's a good question. Which one am I attending? Now I'm sort of thinking like, well, I have family in New York, so who's the home? It's the Spurs at home, or is it the Sixers?
I think Spurs are at home.
In New York, right?
No, wait,
Spurs at home against OKC and Knicks at home, right?
So I've never actually been to Texas, so that's a little tempting. These are great games. I'm excited to see it all. I mean, like I live in LA and I pay a little bit more, just slightly closer attention to the West. So, I lean towards that, but, seeing the Knicks get their rings, I mean, that's probably the answer, right? Like if I had to attend, I'd want to be there and say, yeah, I was there when they got their rings. That's always special. I got to go to some of those for the Lakers and the Clippers. Oh, well, I guess, not the Clippers. But yeah, been to a bunch of the Lakers, them getting rings and all that. And usually Lakers would lose those games. It was a lot of times those home teams lose, but those are always, pretty special nights.
Yeah, Eric, it's funny. You said it right out the gate. Those are phenomenal. I mean, you cannot go wrong. Now, they're going to have 3 games on opening night, but those 2 that we're talking about, it's kind of cool to see some of these markets. Philly's a phenomenal basketball market. I don't need to tell you about the Knicks. And then you got these just kind of the class of the NBA right now with the Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, and you just assume those are going to be the 2 best teams in the Western Conference. The question I want to ask you, and this is more on the LeBron front, is it, I don't know if surprise is the right word, but this guy is still, I don't know if you want to call him the face of the NBA, but damn it, still the most powerful player in the NBA, is still, pulling nationally televised games, still doing what he does from a jersey perspective. Are you surprised at all that we're sitting here and you're starting to look at all these premier matchups Christmas night as well, and LeBron's kind of marquee on all of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, he's arguably the number 1 needle mover for 20-something years. I mean, 23. He's been that for as long as, I mean, maybe like, the first year or 2, he wasn't fully like the king of the NBA, still not his league yet, but he got to the finals real quick. And, obviously, when he went to Miami, that was, by that point, it was just, everything is around LeBron. And he went to the 9 straight finals. I mean, the surprise, of course, is that he's still so good at this age. That's really, the shock, because, really guys start to slow around 30, which sounds crazy, but that's usually where most guys start to slow. Star, like top level players who are elite, 35, 34. But to play the levels, we watch him, up close in LA and got to see that, there things does he move around as well on defense, or, there's things he doesn't do as well as the young LeBron did, but he's still one of the best players in the league. And we, Wemby's this and Shea's that, and, we can Jalen Brunson and all that, but LeBron is still a very special player. Him and Steph have been the faces of the league for a very long time. And I know that there's some level of concern at the highest of NBA levels that, what do we do after this? And there's so many great young talented players coming into the league, doing some great things. Maybe it's Cooper Flag, obviously Wembanyama, Jalen Brunson being what he is in New York now. I don't know if he has as big a personality, but New York fans are pretty ride or die. So it's fun. And then, LeBron in Philadelphia, yeah, of course they're going to get all that attention because it's LeBron.
Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report with us right now, and Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. When you look at the Eastern Conference in general, the Knicks obviously coming off a title, seeing what Philadelphia has done this offseason, how do you think the Sixers will ultimately, not on opening night, but as the season progresses, is Philadelphia going to be
opening night?
You can't start 0-1 if you look at modern NBA. Recover? But how will the Sixers stack up against the top of the East, including a team like New York?
Well, I mean, it really comes down to, Joel Embiid getting, I don't expect 80 games, 82 games out of the guy, but if he can play a good 65 in that range, 70 games, and be healthy, and then most importantly, be healthy in the playoffs, then yeah, he's a special player. He was MVP not that many years ago, but injuries are what they are, and he's really struggled with some leg stuff. And but the Pistons, the Celtics, not to mention the Knicks, of course, and then the Cavs. People sleep on the Cavs. They were the second best team in the East last year. I like the Hawks. I don't know about the Hornets yet. The Heat have Giannis, so you start to pile them all together. I've left out, I'm sure, a team or two. There's real competition. We could debate, but we could argue it's maybe a little stronger in the East this year. I don't know, or at least close to even. And I feel like it's been somewhat unbalanced where there's been more high-level competition in the West. But, even last year, we had 5 50-win teams in the West. We had 4 in the East. So it's been evening out over the course of the last, year or so. And I think the Sixers, if healthy, should get to that 50 mark. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they are. If LeBron's healthy, I'll say fit wise, like I want to see Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe be able to run and play to their strengths, which is fast. And, Embiid and LeBron play slower. As great as LeBron is, he doesn't play at a faster pace. You look at the pace of the Lakers, although they did speed up a bit with Luka. And then, obviously Jaylen Brown can go either way. He's a little bit of a slow down guy, but equally the Celtics were, running and shooting and playing super fast, and he was the star of that team last year. So yeah, I just want to see it. Like, let's tip off the game right now. Why we got to wait until October?
Eric, what do you make of Eric Pincus? Thanks the time to join us. Does a phenomenal job covering the NBA for Bleacher Report. What do you make of just where we stand here right now on the Kawhi Leonard, the Los Angeles Clippers, the aspiration? Obviously some new information had come out over the last week or so. Pablo Torre, who on his podcast mentioned that there, I think it was Daktronics, which is the company that does the scoreboard, potentially a deal that was done between him, that company, and Kawhi Leonard. Just where do we stand here? And do you think there will be a resolution anytime soon as this continues to kind of not just hang over the NBA, but it feels like there's other deals that can't be done until this is figured out?
Yeah, it's complicated. I mean, the Clippers, in the worst case scenario for the Clippers, and they're found completely guilty, and big punishments, loss of draft picks, suspensions. One of the key punishments is that Kawhi Leonard's contract would be voided, like literally $50 million gone. And if that's the case, there's no trade with Toronto. The Clippers would have cap room, which, people would say, oh, that's not fair or whatever. Well, you believe me, they're going to be, not having draft picks and losing the picks they would have gotten for Kawhi would be pretty devastating. You're talking about 5, 6, 7 picks, first round picks. So, again, I'm not assuming guilt, but let's say, that's the path. Then they have a lot of money to spend, which means guys like Jonathan Kuminga and Peyton Watson and Jalen Duren, Benedict Mathurin, who's a Clippers restricted free agent. The Clippers need to spend, and suddenly they have money. I believe Pablo Torre was teasing more depth into this Rhode Island football club on an episode that he's going to drop today. So maybe they're able to tie even more to the Clippers. So there's this investigation. People have been saying to me, why is it taking so long and the NBA is ineffective? And I'm like, these are highly, highly paid lawyers running this investigation, making a ton of money. And they're not going to go fast, and equally, it shouldn't go fast because they got to get this right. And my gut lately has been that they're going to come down hard on the Clippers, but it really goes. I change week by week because you talk to enough people, they say, oh, the NBPA is going to fight and Ballmer's going to fight, and there's going to be an arbitration and appeals and all this stuff, and yeah, it could take a while. So I would love resolution. Obviously, we don't know the facts outright. We have ideas of the facts. We have a lot of information that really is pretty damning. So I look forward to resolution. I would like to think that it drops in August. Usually, the beginning of August is when the schedule comes out. And so I wasn't expecting it until the NBA schedule. So the schedule is just starting to come out. We're getting opening night and, the holiday game on Christmas. I guess the schedule come out pretty soon. And then after that, later in August, I would like to think that's when you get the bad news in the NBA, when everyone sort of goes on vacation and the focus isn't on the NBA. That's usually where things happen.
Eric, final one for me. In the West, I mean, it'll take obviously 9 months for us to figure this out, but who will be the last team standing in the West? Are we where we ended it with Oklahoma City and San Antonio, or is there another serious, suitor out there to potentially be Western Conference champions?
Well, I mean, those are the two best teams on paper and then also in practice, just based on last year. I don't really think the Nuggets have done anything of note, this summer, but Jokic is still arguably the best player in the league, or one or two or three. We can all certainly argue that. The Rockets will be better. The Timberwolves, I don't know. LaMelo is an interesting addition, but they lost a lot of size, Julius Randle and Naz Reid. And then, the Lakers are without LeBron, and we just spent all this time talking up how incredible LeBron still is. And so while the Lakers got better in other ways, I do think losing LeBron will be felt. And so I don't know that I have them at that top tier. And the same thing with the Warriors are still Steph. So there's always that possibility. But certainly Denver, maybe Houston, but really I feel like those two teams are still the top of the list.
Eric Pincus, Bleacher Report. We appreciate you taking some time for us. NBA schedule release week. Yeah.
Can I squeeze just the Kuminga anything? Have you heard anything on John the Kuminga? I don't know. Well, I don't think we could talk anything NBA without getting a quick little Kuminga piece in.
Well, I wrote an article the other day, Bleacher Report. You could just, Google it.
4-team trade. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to map out, like, not saying basically how would it work? Because people throw around, they could just sign and trade for Kuminga like it's nothing. But it isn't nothing. The Hawks aren't going to go into the tax to get Kuminga paid. That's not interesting to them. So what would it actually look like? And so that's my best take. Obviously, if and when, it won't be the exact combination. I mean, every so often I do hit on something exact, but usually it's, I just wanted to show the ballpark of it. So is it feasible? Yes. Is it realistic? Maybe, because he does need a solution and he needs to get paid. And if the Lakers are really the team that wants to pay him, the Hawks and other teams might be able to oblige. So I think it's feasible. I think it's semi-realistic. I wouldn't go and say it's likely yet, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Eric, appreciate you doing it. Thanks so much, man.
All right. Anytime, guys. Thanks.
All right. Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report.
Maybe I do that. Maybe every time, like, we're done with an interview, then I'm like,
we're not.
I got two more.
Maybe they could have like a Kuminga special, like when they do the NBA schedule release, like, on Amazon Prime, it's Knicks Celtics. Also, Kuminga special coming up on Amazon Prime. All right, we're going to tell you about today's giveaways.
Is he still on? I had three more.
You have more questions?
I got three quick
ones. Where should I get pizza tonight? Darnay Tripp from NBC7 will join us coming up at 4:30. We'll get to the wrap still ahead. Plus, we'll tell you about some giveaways we have planned for you here today, including tickets to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean this weekend at Petco Park here on Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
On our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 in spending money. Next chance to text and win happens around 5 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760.
Can I make a quick point?
You cannot.
But before I make the point, I do want to say this. We're giving away Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean tickets for August 16th at Petco Park this hour. If you want those tickets, you have to tell us why you want to see the show by opening up the free iHeartRadio app. Maybe you're listening there right now. Click on San Diego Sports 760. Click the red talkback mic. Tell us your name and why you want a 4-pack of tickets to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean. Let's give away those tickets this hour. All right, this is what I want to tell you, Alan. As Darnay Tripp will join us at 4:30. Has there been a bigger, and there has been, but isn't this a significant fall from grace for Tony Romo, who was like the chosen one as color analyst on television? At one point, it was like, this guy's unbelievable. He predicts all the plays. He's so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like his performance kept falling off, so to speak. And now we had the recent, was it technically a DWI or was it an OWI or whatever? OWI. And CBS has taken him off that lead broadcast team for now. They haven't assessed what they're going to do long term. They're still assessing his status. This guy was like the chosen one of broadcasters.
Yeah.
And he's potentially given all that up. And don't you feel like at one point he was at like the absolute top and he just dropped down?
And it's kind of weird from a public perspective because typically, I don't know, I mean, not that this doesn't happen, but especially from like a broadcaster perspective, when people like you, they kind of like you.
They normally like you, yeah.
Right? So it's to go from he's very well liked to people then going out of their way to talk about how much they don't like him on a broadcast. Like, well, what the hell happened? He's still calling the same games. I mean, it's still the same person. I don't pay as close attention. And some people are very, very adamant about who they like and who they don't like when it comes to broadcasts. I thought Tony Romo was fine. Yes, I thought probably overblown in the beginning, but it was fresh. He would, when, the line of scrimmage, and this is a former quarterback that's saying, hey, this is exactly what's going to happen. And it happened. So it obviously added even more to his broadcast. Yeah, a lot has changed. I watched. I don't know if you saw because they released it. They released the footage of
the
him.
sobriety test.
Yeah, on YouTube, you'll just get fed whatever feed, and that's one that came up for me.
And did he fail the sobriety test? Is that what played out?
He didn't do a good enough job, and you could tell he was drunk.
It was interesting. It was a lot. Just came back from the golf course.
It was in Milwaukee, correct?
I think they had seen that he had shooters in the car or something like that.
He was playing in that celebrity tournament that weekend.
There were open containers.
Yeah, he had open. He had open bottle. Yeah,
but it was such like a long process, and it was like
really.
Yeah, he would start stretching before he would actually walk the line, if you want to call it. And it wasn't on the side of the road anymore because he was on like a bridge freeway. So they went into like a parking garage. Gotcha. There's just a lot going on.
I have a serious question. I've always wondered, would I pass? Let's say I was completely sober.
Yeah.
The last time I've like drank something was like a Diet Coke today.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I'm completely sober. Is it that easy to pass if you're completely sober? Like if they make me do the alphabet backwards, for example, I can't do the alphabet backwards.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Or if I had to walk like a straight line backwards.
Straight line, I should be fine.
I would forwards.
Yep.
But some of the stuff, I'm being serious when I say that. Like, what happens if you're just like a bad test taker, so to speak?
Did you ever watch?
Skip to the breathalyzer.
Did you guys ever watch?
True.
Did you ever watch Reno 911?
I've heard of it.
So back in the day, one of the dummest shows, hilarious, but the comedy was so dumb. And I think they had like pulled somebody over, and she would be like, you're doing you're walking the straight line, and she'd be like, and 1 and 2, and like all of a sudden she was adding other mixes into it, so it like became like a dance duet. It was hilarious.
The most ridiculous thing.
This is the dumbest thing ever.
Like seriously, Al.
She's like, and 1 and 2.
If you were making $18 million a year, can you imagine losing it? No, he's made a lot of money. I think he's going to be fine. Playing the NFL. Has done this for 5, 6, 7 years. He's made $18 million a year. I think he'll be fine. But again, it is a fall from grace. I'm not saying there have been ridiculous falls from grace in sports history.
I think it's not the first time. Not going to be the last.
Exactly.
And every time we see, Yeah, how many times do we crucify athletes when they get a DUI or something? You're like, you have this much money. Why don't you just get an Uber or driver or something like that? What makes that any different with Tony Romo?
That's a good point. All right, Darnay Tripp, NBC 7 on the other side. Padres are surging here in the second half. Darnay Tripp will join us live. Again, we're giving away those Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan tickets. If you want them, tell us why by opening up the free iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red talkback mic. Tell us your name and why you want those tickets for a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean. Darnay Tripp joins us next.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres and Brewers are downtown at Petco getting set for game 2 of their series. It's going to be at Kyle Harrison going against Walker Buehler. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. NFL note, the Vikings have named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback over JJ McCarthy. And the NBA released part of their schedule today, including a triple header that will begin at noon here on the West Coast on opening day. And they also released the Christmas Day games, which are highlighted by LeBron's new team, the 76ers, taking on one of his old teams, the Lakers. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, Darnay Tripp, friend of the show, NBC 7, Sports Night in San Diego. Del Mar visitor. Saw Darnay and Del Mar this past week. Things are good.
Del Mar visitor.
Things must be good over at NBC7. Darnay Tripp back with us here. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. I don't even know where I go from there. I'll start here because you were in the clubhouse when Joe Musgrove spoke the other day about where he is in his rehab. This is an amazing story because we haven't seen him for the better part of 2 years, but he is now getting closer. So you were there when he spoke. Does it sound as if he might be a start away from being back in the major leagues?
Yeah, potentially two. He kind of did the math for us, and I think he said he wanted to get to 75 to 80, because that was one of the questions that Marty Caswell asked, because I think Joe had even mentioned a couple of weeks ago, like he wasn't sure, is it going to be a 3-inning situation, a 5-inning situation? Because at that point, they were kind of entering into their pitching chaos mode, and it had worked for them. And so, Joe was trying to figure out, am I going to be kind of another cog in this system? And he seemed to indicate that AJ wants a full-fledged starting pitcher. And so he thought he'd probably want to get to 75, 80 before he's up. He had 52 on Sunday. He said it's about 10 to 15, increase each time. And so that's close to 30 pitches. So he said one start might be pushing it. He's like, if I'm super sharp, then maybe it's one start and I'm ready, but there's a chance that it's 2 more rehab starts before he arrives. But he also said the fact that they got Casey Mize, the fact that they got Robbie Ray, probably seeing what Randy Vasquez has done the last time out, is giving them a little bit more leash to kind of take their time and not rush it so much. And I think given Joe's history with these injuries and these rehabs, taking their time is probably the right thing to do. So I wouldn't be surprised or alarmed if he has one start, and even if that goes well, they decide to give him another start so that he's as built up as possible as the starting pitcher by the time he arrives.
Darnay, do you think you have any idea of what the team is expecting from Musgrove, or is this just a case-by-case basis? Give it another couple of days. Let's see what I guess the question I'm asking, if we fast forward a month from now, what do you think they believe they can get out of Joe Musgrove the rest of the regular season?
That's a great question. And, that's what we don't really know about, these guys coming off rehabs. We know it takes time and they're not necessarily like the full version of themselves. I do think, from talking to Joe, he seems really encouraged, just like his pitch shapes, like the quality of the stuff. He was around 95 and, that's typically where he's been with his fastball, kind of that 94, 95 range. And yeah, he talked a little bit about his grips and kind of refining that. I know there's been some bad habits he's kind of had to work through that he sort of developed while he was kind of favoring his arm and working around the pain that he's now ironing out. But I think he's been encouraged with, where he's at, where his stuff is at, and, that would give him another start or two to continue to refine that and sharpen that up. Now, there's probably going to be some bumps in the road, certainly. And do we expect a quality start first time out? That'd probably be a little bit ambitious, but given what we've seen from the lineup on most nights, it can be a little bit spotty one night to the next. You have some confidence. If he comes out and gives you 4 earned in 5 innings, like this team's been capable of kind of getting through that. I think the most encouraging thing is it seems like that stretch of the season where they're looking at like 3 and 4 inning starts for everybody not named Michael King. Like it seems like they've gotten past that and the worst of kind of the state of the rotation. And so if Joe can kind of contribute to that and give them, a solid 4 to 6 innings on a, once every 5-day basis, that's better than what they had for a while and hopefully good enough to put them in position with a lineup that's been one of the best in Major League Baseball since the break, to give them opportunities to win games.
Yeah, really good points from Darnay Tripp, NBC7 with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. How would you describe the saga that's played out with Nick Pivetta over the last, I don't even know how long, but really since we saw him on the mound and everything that's transpired since? Do you have any feel for how that ultimately resolves itself?
No, I feel it's a little Padres-esque. I think the bizarre injury, kind of hard to read, don't really know what to do with it. Like we've seen some of those through the years. Obviously interesting hearing from Nick, and then Kevin Acee reporting yesterday that, if you do the math, like there's no way he's back before that, August 22nd deadline, which isn't the most important thing. Like, let's talk just as like, folks that are around the team, certainly for Padres fans, their ambitions for this season. That's not the most important thing. But it's a little bit hard to picture at this point, unless what happened last Tuesday, a week ago now today, was a complete fluke. And maybe he just felt something normal that sort of freaked him out a little bit, that he isn't accustomed to, because it's been a longer rehab process than what he has done in his career. Hopefully that's the case. I haven't heard if there's been an update. What time is it? Stammen would have spoken by now on Pivetta and how he bounced back from his bullpen yesterday. It's obviously a big question, but the longer it drags on, it's the more skeptical I think I become. But we've been surprised before, and hopefully this will be one of those situations. But certainly alarming and bizarre. I guess you can kind of understand it to a degree, going through a rehab and how sensitive it is and challenging it is and all that. But it's dragged out for a long time. Hopefully he'll surprise us, but it feels like you can't really bank on it at this point. And they'll probably be glad they went out and got 2 starters instead of 1 by the end of this thing.
Darnay Tripp, part of NBC7, taking some time to join us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Darnay, just to kind of play off of what you just mentioned, last night seeing Casey Mize, seeing his performance and just a phenomenal performance. Obviously a great bounce back for him after his first start with the Padres. What kind of stood out to you last night? What stood out in his performance, and how much do you think we can expect those types of performances from Casey Mize?
On what he did, with Detroit, you'd think you could expect even better than that on a fairly regular basis. I mean, he put up some of the best numbers in the American League. His ERA obviously really good, a whip south of 1. And so what was it? 6 hits and a couple walks, I want to say, last night. That's probably more than he was generally given up with the Tigers. He had like a 5.6 walk rate. I think he'd allowed 5 homers all season up until the trade. And so certainly not like peak Casey Mize based on what we've seen this year. But I do think it was encouraging that he serves up a homer, second inning, and, he kind of buckles down, still had some traffic here or there, but it didn't get to him. It didn't snowball on him at all. And then he gives you a quality start. I think that was really, really encouraging. Stammen said, it sounds like Casey Mize is you talk about creature habits. He seems to be that to the nth degree. And Stammen had a funny line. He asked Casey, hey, is it nice to be back on your regular schedule? And Casey said, yes, minute by minute. So it's not day to day or hour by hour for him. He seems like a very meticulous individual. And if then once you realize that, it makes sense that after 11 days off, he might struggle. And so I think their hope is now that he's back on a regular schedule, he can look like the guy that we saw or they saw in Detroit really the last 2 seasons or so.
Darnay Tripp is with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa from NBC7. How do you explain what we've seen from the offense, where they were so anemic, where, a lot of people, media, fans were calling for the hitting coach's job very early on, probably 6 weeks into the season, and it stayed bad for the better part of 80-plus games. And now it feels like they've been a complete opposite unit over the last 30-plus games or so. It's hard to explain, isn't it, the way they perform? Because it's not like they've really changed the entire lineup around. It's just these players are finally producing.
Yeah. On one hand, it does feel like, okay, this is what everybody was expecting. This is sort of what we probably expected going into the season. This is what Craig Stammen said would eventually happen. It's just strange that Manny, Tatis, and Merrill, the engines of this lineup, all had their own unique struggles. Whether it was the closed versus open stance for Fernando Tatis Jr., and once he opened back up, he started looking like himself again. Merrill, it seemed to be kind of the swing decisions, and maybe that just kind of slowed him down. It kept him from being as aggressive, and now he's sort of letting it rip. I almost equate it to when Ruben Niebla told Blake Snell, just walk, guys. It doesn't matter. You're fine. You're just going to strike the next guy out. Where it's instead of just you trying to change who you are, why don't you put a little bit less stress on that and then just focus on being like the really talented athlete that you are. And so that seems like Jackson Merrill. Like I'm going to swing out of the zone sometimes. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm not going to let that get me down so much, because we did see him, you know, look at really good pitches that we've seen him do damage on or be a touch late. And that's probably because the wheels were turning a little bit more. And then Manny Machado, with whatever swing work he put in during the offseason, kind of slowing him down. And now he seems to be, you know, mostly on the other side of that. And so it's this perfect storm where all three guys have their own individual things that, you know, I don't know how much any of it was related to Steven Souza Jr. But the one thing that they had early in the season was like Ty France, Gavin Sheets, Nick Castellanos at points, Miguel Andujar, like contributions from others in the lineup. And now it's a different cast of characters. It's Rengifo, it's Ty France has turned it on. You know, we'll see what we get from Austin Hayes. But a lineup with like a lot of guys that can do damage and hurt you. And, you know, if you can have that kind of 2024 feeling to the lineup, I think that's a good thing, where guys are pulling for one another. They're not doing too much because they know the next guy or the guy behind them can do damage. And it just kind of creates like a good, healthy vibe and some momentum and energy to the lineup that they certainly didn't have like May and the beginning of June. But they've developed and it's led to their success and now being kind of on the doorstep of the wild card.
Darnay, how do you feel that the team is positioned right now? Arizona's starting to win some games. Philly's starting to win some games. We were trying to do the math. We're trying to say, hey, how many wins would it take to get one of these final two wild card spots? I know there's still enough baseball left in front of the Padres, but I don't know what that margin of error is. It's going to be interesting to watch. How do you feel like they're positioned the rest of the way with these two squads in front of them?
Well, John, we should clarify they're one game behind the Phillies, but they're really 2 games behind the Phillies, right?
No, it's too early for that.
It's not too early. It's never too early, ever.
I think they are positioned better. It's hard to tell, really. I mean, they're obviously in, you know, you want to be in this position. You'd rather be in the position that the Cubs are in. But I think it's encouraging, you know, you go back like 3 weeks and, you know, I was thinking, you know, selling looks pretty good. And so many teams have kind of fallen off and dropped back. I think getting the starters, you know, of all the teams, like what I think Philly, obviously Luis Ariz, at least early on, provided them a nice spark. I don't know how much Arizona did in terms of upgrades. And so I think you feel good from that standpoint. But it's just, there's just no guarantee, you know, it feels a bit like a coin flip or a toss up, with 2 spots for 3 teams. Nobody seems like they're ready to blink yet. And you're just going to have to ride it out and hope that, you know, you can get hot, continue this role that they're on right now. But if we look up and it's late September and they're 2 games out and they eventually fall short, like, I don't know if you can really be stunned. But they're at least, you know, the field has narrowed a little bit and they're playing good baseball, and you just kind of got to buckle up. We got a month and a half and we'll see how this thing shakes out. But I certainly prefer it to be in the position that the Reds or the Cardinals are in.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think that they're in position. Now, can they close over the final 6 weeks or so? Darnay, appreciate you doing it. Great to see you the other day, and look forward to doing it again soon.
It's nice seeing how the other folks, the other side lives, you know?
By the way, Darnay comes to Del Mar.
Mar.
You know, I've spent some time there in my day. I no text, no call, nothing. Didn't write. I see him on the street.
Darnay, have you had lunch or dinner with John yet, or no? Just out of curiosity.
I've avoided that experience at all costs.
Well, I found out yesterday one of his good buddies from high school, who's part of the Brewers broadcast.
He bought my lunch.
Came all the way out here from Milwaukee to have lunch with this guy. And you know what John did when the bill came? He said, I got to go put some money in my meter.
No, I didn't do that.
Wow.
What was I supposed to do? He wanted to pay.
Hey.
I was supposed to pay? That's rude.
I just want, like a Milwaukee meat and potatoes kind of town and like a nice, tall, light beer. Like I want to see John have lunch in Milwaukee. Like we know John can get what he wants. He can serve his very particular dietary habits here.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, let's go to like a meat and potatoes part of the Midwest and see how John handles himself. That would be interesting.
Not well. Darnay, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Darnay Tripp with NBC7. There's something he said in there I want to react to on the other side. Plus, we're giving away Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean tickets coming up this weekend at Petco Park. If you want them, hit us up on the talkback mic. We'll announce the winner on the other side here on Schaefer and Sliwa.
All right, teachers make a difference each and every day. Now's your chance to say thank you. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who goes above and beyond for their students. They could be one of our $5,000 winners for classroom supplies and resources. Teachers give so much. Now it's our turn to give back. Nominate a teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
We have a winner. I have a question for you about school in a second. There's my tease. There's my radio tease. Don't leave your car. I have a question for Alan about school. But we have a winner. Can we get a drum roll for the Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan tickets this weekend at Petco Park?
Who's got him? Who's got him?
All right, tell the listeners. The winner is Jeff, loyal listener Jeff.
Let's go, Jeff.
Congrats to Jeff.
Hey, baby,
He's got
Jeff.
those tickets. That's a 4-pack of tickets, Petco Park this weekend. Okay, tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Technically, one ticket if we all go.
Well, that's what we haven't told you. It's actually going to be me, you, Brent,
and Mike.
My wife wants to go.
Your wife's going too. So actually, we need Jeff,
Mike,
we need Jeff to buy a ticket.
And if you could drive us there and back.
That's all.
But that's what you've won.
We appreciate
and make sure
you
it's a
so
large
loyal.
vehicle because there's going to be 5 of us.
Yeah,
plus
we just want
you.
space.
Yeah, so like
we
an
want
escalator.
space. If you have to rent one, rent
one.
Yeah,
rent something
do
for
what you got to do.
Be terrific. When did you start school? I mean, not like...
What are these setups, man?
Like, as in, did
college?
You
When did I start college?
No, like when you went to grade school, did you go like August 10th? Or did you start August 24th or September 1st? You grew up here. When did school start?
It's funny you say that because I was having the same conversation yesterday with my girl about like how early school is starting now.
Yeah, my son started yesterday.
And then I said, what do you mean people are already starting school? We would start, definitely it was in September. And I'm trying to think how deep into September. Maybe that first
Labor
week
Day?
of September. Yeah, something like that.
That's what I was.
And then we would go, I think we were done in June, right? You'd have,
yeah, but now it ends in May.
Yeah, it's what happened?
What happened? Who was like, yo, this ain't working? Like what they were doing those previous generations, they didn't grow up right.
We came out fine.
That's what I was gonna say. Like if we're employed, like we figured it out.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what the advantage is, but
have we gotten
who
cute?
wants to go back to school?
It's like the middle of the summer.
It's the middle of the summer.
The actual middle. It
You're
doesn't end until the end of September.
Have this like summer break. That's
my
what
son
we called
doesn't even
it.
get it. He's like, oh yeah, back at school. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. I'm like, they're taking advantage of you, putting you in there, classes, lessons.
Is it too hot to be inside of a school?
Well, I mean, I think they have AC.
We used to have. What'd you have out in Philadelphia? Was it just like you get snowed in and things like that? We used to have
no
heat
schools
days.
in Philadelphia.
We
just teach yourself. Well, yeah, no, but here's the thing. Even
we used to
now,
have heat days out here.
No, but they don't have anymore.
I know because everybody's probably
Everyone's
got AC.
online.
But
well, I was gonna say because they're online. Like in New York City right now, if there's a blizzard, they're just gonna make you do school online.
Right.
Right. They're not gonna be like, hey, you have the day off. Teachers.
Good old El Cajon, it would be like 108. They're like, yeah, you're not going to school.
They would give you the day off because of the temperature.
It would be a half day or something like that. I think we get out at noon or something like that.
I've gotten
What
off
do you mean?
of
Come
school.
on, we didn't have AC.
It's a little warm.
Like sweating inside of the class. I get you
guys are like 9. What's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Everybody would take advantage of it. All people would do is just be like, all right, cool, we're not in school. Then they'd all go end up in a swimming pool at their houses.
Remember the story, Brent, in California we talked about a few years ago where California put in high school football restrictions on temperature? It's like you can't start a game if the temperature is over like 83 degrees. Like 83, like
83 is
it's
nice.
83 degrees everywhere. But it's seriously like there's all these rules and restrictions now because of the weather.
I had classes called off when I was a kid because of how cold it was.
Yeah,
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's why I thought you'd have that in Philly, but apparently you didn't go to school.
No, back in the day, do you guys remember this?
Mhm.
Well, you don't, because this is what would happen out east. Seriously. The way I knew I didn't have school in the 1990s was you'd listen to the radio, the news station, like Kogo. Did this happen out here? And they would read the school district numbers every like 15 or 30 minutes.
Definitely did not happen out here.
Dude, it was insane. This
No,
is
it definitely
pre-internet.
didn't happen.
So I'm like in 6th grade, and you're like, please be a
Don't
snow
have
day.
school?
Like it's like
Wow.
3.5 inches. Is that gonna be enough? Is it a late opening, which is 2 hours late? Or is it? And they'd start reading off the districts. I still remember to this day. I think 302 was my district.
Mhm.
It was the worst. It'd be like, the following schools are closed: 297, 298, 299, 300, 301, 303. I'm like, are you serious? It was like the worst feeling as a kid. But there's no snow out here.
And
so
you
didn't
were
have that.
also a bookie back then, so you were taking
I
over-unders.
was
What's the
pulling it
over-under?
up on snow days out east. All right. Well, I thought that was
You
a good
paid
job.
off your parents' house by the time you were 12.
This is what I didn't do that based on that. This is what I
Cash.
wanted to react to about Darnay Tripp's conversation. Remember, I said there's something I wanted to react to about
Yes.
our conversation with Darnay?
Mhm.
It was about what time the school year starts.
Oh yeah. No, that's absurd. That's absurd. August is absurd.
It's too early.
Come on.
It's too early.
Can we just get back to this?
And for
Make
the
it after
teachers.
Labor Day.
Teachers, you should have your summer off.
Make it after Labor Day. Just let's get back to a little bit more structure here.
I agree with you.
That's all.
All right. Next hour, we're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to see Neo and Akon. That's August 18th. That's coming up at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Plus the wrap on the other side to kick off hour 3 of Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres and Brewers are getting set for game 2 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Kyle Harrison going for the Crew and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. One NFL note today, the Vikings have named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback over J.J. McCarthy. Probably no surprise there. And the NBA released part of their schedule today, including an opening day triple header that will begin at noon here on the West Coast with Celtics Pistons. That'll be followed by 76ers Knicks and OKC Spurs for the nightcap. The league also released the Christmas Day schedule, which is highlighted with LeBron James's new team, Philadelphia, taking on his old team, the Lakers. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, final hour here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Alan, we don't have one ticket giveaway this hour. We have 2. All right, so here are the giveaways. We've got a 4-pack of tickets to see Neo and Akon.
I could have chimed in at some point.
Could have chimed in if you wanted. And then we've got a pair of tickets to see Tucker Wetmore. And that's August 20th at Gallagher Square, Petco Park. So 2 great concert giveaways for you this hour. In fact, we'll give away the Neo and Akon tickets between now and 5:30. So be listening for that. We typically get to the wrap of the 4 o'clock hour. Haven't as of yet, so let's get to it now.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Which opening night NBA game are you most looking forward to?
All right, so here are the 3 opening night games we have, and I still got to figure out this noon start.
7 a.m.
tip-off.
Celtics Pistons.
So Celtics Pistons, Sixers Knicks, Thunder at the Spurs. Sixers Knicks to me that's kind of must-watch TV for me. And it's just the mere fact that it's not just LeBron in Philly. It's also Jaylen Brown in Philly. And it's the New York Knicks putting up their banner and getting their championship rings for the first time since 1973. I'm not telling you it's the best basketball for the night, but that is the most intriguing game for me.
I'm going to counter it. I like that.
Okay.
I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Thunder Spurs.
Didn't your wife get a Thunder
flag? Did I tell you that?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Kristen has. I'll show you a picture with.
She's all in on the
bought
Thunder.
A house flag. Now, not the full. Hey, I'm a Padre fan, and I put it outside my home, and it's like 3 feet tall by 6 feet wide. You see, this is more the like you put it in your plants. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like maybe like 12 inches.
Yeah, the tattoo's incoming.
What is it?
The tattoo's incoming.
Dude.
Bro, that's hilarious.
Isn't that ridiculous? So then I post, why don't we get all 30 teams so we could like promote different games coming up with like the house flag? Anyway, yes, Kristen is a big role in this.
Is it because of Shea?
She loves Shea.
Yeah.
Now she's a diehard Pacers Halliburton fan. And of course, Shea went through Halliburton and the injury to win the finals, but then she fell in love with Shea. But here's the thing. Remember the last time we saw the Spurs and the Thunder was great television. Game 1, the Wemby 40-footer in overtime.
Right. Yeah.
Game 7, they win at OKC.
Chet doesn't do anything.
Does nothing the entire series.
Jalen doesn't play.
I just think it's kind of like the best series going right now in the NBA. Like today.
That's why I said like I think that's going to be the best basketball, but I think the most entertaining.
I agree with that.
Is Philly and New York.
Ceremony.
And again, the Knicks are the defending NBA champions. So for me, it's that. Brent, what's the game for you out of those 3?
Celtics Pistons.
No, I'm with Alan. I'm lame. I like watching teams get their rings. Unless it's like the Dodgers, but I like watching the Banner get rings. I like seeing them get their rings. And stuff. And plus, it'd be one thing if it's like
because it's the Knicks.
Well, it would be one thing if it's like the Patriots, where it's like, oh, yay, it's your 5th ring ceremony in 15 years. Who cares?
Sure.
The Knicks haven't won jack squat in forever, so it's kind of a moment.
Can we just real quick on the 12 o'clock, the noon start, the Celtics at the Pistons? Love it.
I like more is better than less, but it's almost, we're reaching the point where it almost feels like a 24-hour college basketball kickoff marathon. Should we have had a midnight game with the Pelicans, the Grizzlies, and a 3 a.m. game with the Kings?
Here's the only issue I have. Is
it's the middle of the week.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, why not do it at, I don't know, 3?
Or what about it is 3
Can't you
Eastern?
Stagger? Yeah, I'm talking about 3 here. Can't you stagger? That one's at halftime, and then you're going to.
Well, why can't we have a late night Kings Warriors game?
Sure.
Give me that late night 11 o'clock East, 8 o'clock West game.
It's not a terrible opening night. Here's the problem. The problem is you can't do anything on a weekend because you're in the NFL and college season. So you're kind of parking on a Tuesday because of those reasons. If you park on a Tuesday, that's fine. You can park on a Tuesday, but how are you supposed to do a 10 a.m. game on a Tuesday?
Right.
I'd watch it.
3 p.m.
Yeah. I like it because, 1, we're in the sports business, and 2, there's not a lot of stuff on at noon, in the afternoon on a Tuesday. You might get an occasional baseball game on MLB Network, but that's about it.
Sure.
I'll take any random NBA game at noon.
Real quick on that, remember the COVID football season where the Steelers ended up
being
random
1 o'clock.
Wednesday?
Wednesday because it's getting canceled.
We got to get this game in.
But here's the worst part about. Here's the. I don't know. You call it the best or the worst part about it. You know what I did when I finished my radio show on that day? I went right home and I watched that NFL game.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So Brent brings up a good point. And you're right. All right. Next question.
Who have you guys been more impressed with? Ty France or Jackson Merrill?
Good question.
Okay, so you had put out you had these stats here after the All-Star break.
They both hit 340. They both have a 1,000 on base plus slugging.
I think Jackson. Here's why it's for me. Why it's Ty France is because it's where the hell did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
But Jackson Merrill's putting up some real numbers. They need him to put up some real numbers. Jackson Merrill's the type of player that we need to say in a postseason game, it was Jackson Merrill's 3-run homer that was the difference of the game.
Right.
And I don't know if you're going to expect that from Ty France, even though he's been phenomenal, 17 home runs, everything that he's done. So, I'm wildly impressed with what Merrill's done over this, the stretch that he's been on. But that was more, I was expecting him to deliver. I was never expecting Ty France to be the player that he is.
I'll give you a knuckleball or a spin to the question. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Freddie Fermin has hit in 14 consecutive starts. I just wanted to say that. You talk about out of nowhere, out of left field. This has nothing to do with Jackson Merrill.
No, but that's a good
Freddie
stat
Fermin,
to
who
know.
ended the game by throwing out a runner at second base.
Absolutely, yesterday. Yep.
Has hit in 14 consecutive starts. The answer for me is going to be Ty France, because he's done it all year. Merrill's been awesome here over these last 20 games. France has been there all year long.
It's true.
So that to me has been most impressive because of his consistency. Next question.
What the hell?
Right?
Which Christmas Day NBA game are you most looking forward to?
Give me the schedule, Alan. You should have it memorized.
I have it. I have it right here.
I'll look it up.
Ready? It's Spurs at the Knicks.
That's a noon game?
That's a 9 a.m. on the West Coast game.
Right.
That's early.
That's
early for that's too
Knicks
good of a
get the noon
matchup.
Eastern
Yeah,
game?
that's too good of a matchup for that. Heat at the Celtics.
Okay.
So you get Giannis, who didn't end up going to Boston. Sixers at the Lakers. So LeBron's
That's
first
incredible.
game back in LA. Thunder at the Timberwolves. And then the Nuggets at the Warriors. Is it not 76ers Lakers? Is there another answer to that? I mean, you got a finals rematch, which is great.
Yeah.
I for my own money, I think Sixers and Lakers, but that is straight up from a soap opera, not from a basketball perspective.
Is it isn't it a little disrespectful for the champs to be playing at noon? Brent says no.
No, because it's Christmas morning. Most eyes are going to be on the TV in the morning opposed to at night.
You think so?
Yeah, but the NBA traditionally puts, you're right, but they love put like Warriors, Lakers, like third game of the day, ABC.
I can only speak for my family, but by the time, they get to Nuggets Warriors, they're going to be so checked out that nobody's going to watch it. So they have to have it on earlier.
If they did Spurs and Knicks at
8 o'clock Eastern, 8 p.m. prime time.
But you could have put Lakers there. Lakers could have been there.
5:30.
I think the Spurs Knicks game is a little too early. Honestly, I think watching that NBA Finals matchup might be the best game of that day.
It could
Spurs and Knicks are probably the best game of that day.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yep.
And I could go Spurs Knicks or Sixers Lakers. What do you think the point spread is right now? Sixers Lakers in LA. Because these point spreads are all out for the games that have been released. Who's favored?
Sixers plus
or minus?
Plus 3.5. As in Spurs are the. No, as in the Sixers are the favorite. What I'm trying to say, Sixers are the favorite.
You're not great with the betting numbers.
Not the best. Oh, so they'd be minus.
Lakers are minus 1.5. And what's the line in Knicks Spurs at the Garden?
Knicks Spurs.
Who's favored?
I'll say Spurs are favored by 1.5.
Knicks by 1.5. Okay. Those are your point spreads for those games, but it should be good games. Next question.
Are you more excited for the NFL season or the college football season?
Oh, that's a good question.
Good question.
The NFL is so much easier to follow because there's so many. Obviously, it's just much more structured, less teams and everything else. So I think the NFL. And don't get me wrong. Once college football season starts, I'll be into that. But I think the NFL, just because it's, you kind of know what you have. You got your Monday nights, you got your Sunday, the way it's all kind of spaced out. You got your Sunday night football. I think the NFL for me.
I respect it, and I think most people would say NFL. But I am such a college football fan that when 9 a.m. rolls around 2 weeks from Saturday and TCU's playing North Carolina in Dublin, I've been already watching game day. Like, I'm all in on North Carolina TCU, and then am I throwing on San Jose State at USC? I am. I'll be watching that. Am I watching Jacksonville State, North Dakota State? Sure. I'll throw that on.
Why are you doing that?
Because there's something about college flights.
I got distracted for a second, and then I heard you. Then I heard the matchup, and I'm like, "What are you doing? What the hell are you doing?"
I mean, like, honestly, Memphis UNLV is the week 0 night game. I'm all in on that.
But don't honestly Memphis UNLV like that's the sell. Because typically, if you're going to
watch Lakers Sixers Christmas Day over Memphis UNLV August 29th,
probably. You know what I thought I heard them say as well? Christmas Day as well. The NFL is like, this is cute what you guys have been doing.
The NFL is massive games, right?
They have Rams Seahawks on Christmas.
And they have other games. They have Bills. Brent, you have the Christmas Day NFL schedule. It's 3 games. Massive games.
I think there was this unwritten rule that only the NBA wrote.
You're like, it's our day.
It's our day.
And then the NFL was like, so fast.
Wait a minute here.
Netflix wants to give us $600 million? We
like that day.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Wednesday? Oh, good. We can play Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, if he gets that day, I guarantee you it's going to be a stacked schedule.
We got Packers and Bears.
That's a pretty good game.
They have to adjust this so it's be like 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock for us in the morning, and then we got Bills at Broncos.
Oh, just Bills Broncos.
I don't know if it was AFC Championship.
Rematch of
it was Patriots and so it was a
divisional round.
Yep,
and then Rams Seahawks. The first 2 games are Netflix games though, so if you want to watch them, you got to pay.
Just that.
Honestly, I think all that time we just spent about the Christmas games and the NBA, all of that just got pushed to the side.
By the North Dakota State game?
And I'm an NBA. I love the NBA. What do you want me to do? Not watch Bears and the Packers?
That's what the NBA wants you to do.
Not watch the Broncos and the
Bills? Yeah, that's a good point. All right, on the other side, we're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to see Neo and Akon. That's August 18th, coming up in about a week at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Be listening for your chance to win those tickets. Plus, getting you ready for tonight as the Padres face off against the Brewers in Game 2. Can San Diego win a second straight series against a playoff team after beating Houston just a few days ago? This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Or with the iHeartRadio app, you can stream us wherever you are 24 hours a day. Just search for San Diego Sports 760 to stream us live all day, every day. You can leave your comments for us using that talkback microphone. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like, what you want us to talk about. Make us a preset so we pop up each time you open up the app. San Diego Sports 760, always live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, we have Akon and Neo tickets we're going to give away in the next couple of minutes, but we shouldn't bury the lead. 619 saying on the text line, Alan, 70470 started with team. He heard me, John Schaefer, on a Pac-12 commercial while he was in Arizona this weekend. Can't escape this guy. It's not very nice. But he also spelled my name wrong, both John and Schaefer. So am I on a Pac-12 ad like my voice?
Are you getting paid for that?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly where I was going with it. I haven't seen that ad. Brent said he saw an ad for the Pac-12. So
USA Network had one today.
All right. I'll need to check that out.
I should get a royalty too. Just for what? While we do the show together, and it's like a team. You know what I mean? It's like team, when they play in the World Cup, the entire country they split the earnings.
With the nation?
With the players.
With the players on the day. Okay. Players. Here's the deal. If I get a royalty from this Pac-12 ad that I didn't know about, I'm going to split it. Not necessarily with you.
So the guy just is sick of hearing you?
Apparently.
Okay.
Is this going to be like that time? Remember Willard was on like that Laker documentary and he demanded that he got paid like for his 10 seconds of airtime.
You know those Laker documentaries that would air all the time on like Spectrum?
Unbelievable, those Spectrum things. Because there's just like so much. They're looking for so much content. There's only so much new content they can create. So they've got these like top 10
Laker playoff games of the 2000s. And then they're interviewing people.
And it never ends.
It never ends.
And Willard was on those. He's right.
Listen to this article from Bob Nightingale, USA Today. This is the title. Padres won't apologize for trying to win as other baseball teams are content with mediocrity. Preller, remember saying to the media within the last week after the trade deadline that they won't apologize for trying to win championships. He even used it plural. We touched on that after the deadline on August 3rd. Is that your feeling coming out of the deadline that the Padres were more aggressive than other teams were that were in a similar spot?
I don't know. I'm not sure my feeling on coming out of the deadline. I think there was going into the deadline. I think there was a lot of questions and I think it was legitimate. I thought it was fair we sure this is the team that you want to be buying for. A lot of teams out there looking for some bullpen help. Can you get a great haul for Adrian Morejon? You know that it's going to be the final year. And we said this by the fact that they went 8-1 in their final 9 games before the trade deadline. It kind of set the precedent of what AJ Preller was going to do. He just needed any reason. But I think the question of most teams know and understand that they should do business with the Padres at the trade deadline. They should do business with AJ Preller because he's going to be one of the few GMs out there that says, I'm okay with taking a risk and knowing that I could have studs that are going on the other side as long as I get what I need.
Yeah, it is right, because maybe that's why they're aggressive, because of how other teams see Preller. It's like Padres get deals done because teams are willing to. He's just so free spending, so to speak. He's willing to get involved where other teams might not even be willing to go with some of their prospects.
Were you ever? Did you ever do sales? I think you said you've done sales.
Minor league baseball.
Okay, so I'm giving this as an example. It's like
boards.
It's like you're dealing with a client.
Yeah,
and one client that you're dealing with, it's like such a freaking headache.
Yep.
Every dollar's got to be accounted for. Every invoice is a question.
And then the other one is like, hey, sure, yeah.
And the other one,
$4,000, sure.
The other one might just straight up like,
that sounds good.
I'm not going to live and die by this deal. My business will still operate, and I might make some mistakes along the way, but I'll learn as I go. And that's just how two different people run their business.
Yeah.
Who do you want to do business with? It's like when I'm picking up the phone, I got this client calling, and this client is just, hey, are we going out to the game today? This, that. And it's just an awesome, it's a good vibe, good energy. And the other one, it's like, this guy's going to be all over me for the next whatever. how you do business with either
point.
one. I wonder if AJ Preller is that guy that's like, yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
We'll get it done.
Let's just do it. What do they say in sales, by the way? Because you and I both have the sales background. Isn't it 10% of the clients or 90% of the work? You know what I mean? It's like you might have 10 accounts, just hypothetically speaking. You spend a lot of time on one or two of them.
Yeah, that's
probably fair.
Yeah, but I think that the thought of that, yes, like it's typically the ones that also their investment is the least are the ones that are the toughest to deal with.
Right.
The investments that are the most are typically easier.
At the end of the day, from my seat, and we've had this conversation so much this season, me and you, I prefer the GM that's like the one that's willing to do this. You know, again, it's not always right. He hasn't always won these things. He's lost a number of them. And I don't know what it's meant for the organization's future or what it's going to mean moving forward. But I tend to prefer this desire to win. And they don't always win.
But do you know what I think, typically prefer? I don't know if this is actually accurate, but we tend to just kind of go with what matches our personality.
Yeah.
So Preller is such a polar opposite of my personality.
Yeah,
he's so loose.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, and I don't know how you are. I don't know if you're typically loose like that as well. But Preller obviously does business much different than many people within the game of baseball. Like there's many GMs out there that do not do business the way Preller does,
and I appreciate it. It's not my team. It's not my job. But I mean,
it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to it's like you go to a restaurant and you know somebody else is paying. You're going to order a lot different than when you're
Why
paying.
are you saying that to me after yesterday?
I didn't even put those two together.
It's like it's more fun to play roulette with like, $100 on number 31 than $1.
But do you do that? Is that how you
but I
live
like
your
watching
life?
people do it.
That's my point.
See, I love watching people do it.
My point is it's a lot easier when you're seeing somebody else.
It's so true.
Yeah,
it is true. All right. Who wants Neo and Akon tickets? We've got a 4-pack. This is August 18th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. If you want that free 4-pack of tickets to see Neo and Akon, be caller number 4 right now to 877-767-4760. 877-767-4760. Caller 4, you are going to see Neo and Akon August 18th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, but you need to call right now. 877-767-4760. Pick up the phone and call right now. Another concert giveaway to share with you between now and 6 p.m. Plus the latest on both Joe Musgrove and Nick Pivetta as the Padres get ready for the Brewers in Game 2 of this 3-game set here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Brewers are getting set for game 2 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Kyle Harrison going for the Crew and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. NFL news and notes. The Vikings announced today that Kyler Murray is going to be QB number 1 over JJ McCarthy, and the NBA released part of their schedule today, including a opening day triple header that we begin at noon here on the West Coast. They also released the Christmas Day games, which are highlighted by LeBron James and the 76ers taking on his old team, the Lakers. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right. San Diego Sports 760, Schaefer and Sliwa. One more giveaway today, Alan. We are like the home for concert giveaways, aren't we? If you want tickets to see Tucker Wetmore, it's a good point. That's a great point. If you want tickets to see Tucker Wetmore, it's coming up August 20th, Gallagher Square, Petco Park. We'll tell you how to win those tickets coming up at some point in the next 10 minutes or so. Have we received any type of update on what's next for Nick Pivetta? Or are we just like reserved to the fact that the story is already played out?
Yeah, I don't know how you are. I think I'm reserved. I understand that Casey Mize, Robbie Ray,
maybe Musgrove,
Buehler tonight.
Right.
Can Randy Vasquez hold on to, obviously his spot 5th in the rotation? And then the question will come down to, for me, more is, are we going to see Joe Musgrove, and what's that going to look like? What's the potential there with Joe Musgrove? But unfortunately, the Nick Pivetta piece hasn't been in the mix. Something AC said yesterday that I don't know if you picked up on this as well. He said something to the effect, he's like, hey, he can pitch after that date of August. Is it 19th or the 22nd?
It's like the 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
He can pitch after August 22nd. I mean, if he doesn't hit this timeline, let's just say he's not ready by August 22nd, he could still pitch in September.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that kind of threw me off. It was like, oh, okay, then you know what? This isn't kind of like a make it or break it date.
That's a good point.
I mean, technically, it is from a financial perspective as far as his contract goes. But yeah, I have the acceptance of assuming that Nick Pivetta is not going to be a significant part of the rest of the season. And that part sucks because there's a reason why he was the ace to start out there was a reason why he was the opening day pitcher for the Padres versus the Tigers.
Yeah, and Kevin wrote this yesterday, but he said it here first, and we don't have the sound right now, but maybe you heard it if you were with us live yesterday when Kevin AC was with us. He said he's not coming back by the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So like this idea, there was a little bit of hope. Like a faint hope that, he's going to throw his bullpen Allen on Monday, which he did. But Kevin's like, it wasn't a real bullpen. And then he might make a rehab start and he could still be back by the 22nd. And Kevin poured cold water on that. I mean, that's his job to report it accurately. And he's saying that's not really feasible at this point. Now, I'm with you where if he could impact you in some way in September, I'll take that. But I'm not optimistic on that either.
Yeah, I just think it's not something anybody can expect, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's looking at the situation and you're thinking of going into a postseason run, and Nick Pivetta is a big piece of it. It sucks to say that, but that's just going off of what we've seen here over these last week or so. And really, you could say the last couple of months. I mean, when he initially went out with his injury, there was maybe some chatter there of like, hey, just give this guy some rest. Maybe everything will be fine. We're August 11th. He made 4 starts this year. We haven't seen him since his 4th start against the Rockies at Petco Park, where he left in the middle of the game.
In April. Yeah. And by the way, Kevin did report in the UT that it is unlikely the team would pick up his option if it turns into the team option by him missing 130 consecutive days this year. That becomes the team's option to pick up what would be $32 million owed in 27 and 28. That's a significant story because there's a world, dude, and we've talked about this, where you have no clue who's in your rotation. King could walk. You could walk away from Pivetta. Where else would they be? Mize, free agent.
Robbie
Ray,
Ray, free agent.
Who are we missing? Buehler, free agent.
You could have no. You're right about it. There's no. That's why the Padres have been operating under we're all in for about last handful
Close
of
to a
years.
decade, 8 years,
Yeah,
7
last
years.
handful of years. But they're kind of getting to a point where there's so many unanswered questions, but it's not something we got to worry about now.
Right.
But I think you're right on the Pivetta piece of. I wonder too. This is me just kind of trying to put things together at the trade deadline. Do they know? All right, we have to be more aggressive, and we could take on more dollars because
of Pivetta's contract.
Maybe nobody was expecting Pivetta to, obviously be available for that.
Dude, Kevin even went harder than saying he's not expected to have the option picked up. He wrote that it becomes a team option if he misses this date, that almost certainly will not be picked up. Almost certainly will not. And by the way, I mean, you have to look at it through the Padres lens. I mean, why would you pick it up?
It's a reason why you have the clause.
There's
in the
a reason it's in it. Like, how could you pick up a contract? He made 4 starts. He hasn't pitched since April. He's dealing with an elbow injury.
Yeah.
So you combine all that up. Why would you? And Kevin actually said with us, they're not a charity.
I know. Is there a world where you can restructure it? Is there a world where you can get him back for next year and have him at least in a position where he recoups some of that money and he is one of your starters?
Yeah, like, what if you could turn the 32 into like 18? Which is a little more than half, but he's missing 1 year. Okay, we'll give you a little more than half, but we're not giving you 32.
Yeah.
And we'll bet on your 2028. But again, that doesn't solve your 2027 rotation.
No, it doesn't. It's a ruthless business. And some of these contracts out there, I mean, again, the Padres can just go by the contract and say, well, they obviously had no idea that this would come to effect, but they understood, hey, if you missed this much time, this is one way that we could take care of ourselves. I wish some of these contracts in baseball were based off of your production.
Sure.
I wish we didn't have to have X amount of years left on Xander Bogaerts' contract. A really unique situation in regards to the Pivetta situation.
You think King is back or not based on what he's done? He's got a 3.37. He's made 24 starts.
He's got, is it a player option? That's the 25. Didn't he sign like a 3-year 75? And every year is a player option.
Yeah, every year he can opt in. So he got 25. He can get another 25, or he could opt out and try to get a longer deal or more money per year on a short deal. But he's got 3.37. He's made every start, sub 1.2 whip. Is that a good year?
I think ideally for him, he's obviously not back, as in he got a better deal somewhere else that's more long-term with more security. I don't think he's getting the money that went to Dylan Cease was kind of crazy. And I did not think there were teams out there. Toronto ended up just
200 something.
Hey, Dylan Cease got paid. I don't think there's, anything like that into the Michael King equation, but how much of it's going to depend on how he does the rest of the year. If you're in a postseason game, what does Michael King do? If Michael King shoves the rest of this season and is solid in the playoffs, he's not coming back to the Padres on a $25 million.
But again, it's like he kind of we'll take that. Like if you tell me right now, A, they're in, and B, he shoves and makes 3 starts, and now you're in a game 4-5 of an NL, DS. I mean, all of a sudden you've really made a lot.
It's the whole point of that's the only thing you're asking for, right? You're asking for these guys. Adrian Morejon's going to get paid after this season.
Good point.
But these players, you want them to have their absolute best scenario play out the rest of this season so that that the Padres capitalized on it.
All right, here's what we're going to do on the other side. We've got these tickets to see Tucker Wetmore, August 20th, Gallagher Square at Petco Park. We'll tell you how to win those tickets coming up in just a few moments. Plus, we've touched on this throughout the course of the baseball season, Alan. Where do the Padres rank among teams that are among all 30 teams in ABS Challenge success rate? Like, we think they're really bad, right? Like, oh, this team is not good.
By the way, MLB got it right with this ABS Challenge too.
It's good theater, right?
Phenomenal.
It's good television,
and it's quick.
How good or bad have the Padres been in year 1 of ABS challenges in the major leagues? We'll share that with you on the other side and let you know how to win a pair of tickets to see Tucker Wetmore August 20th at Gallagher Square at Petco Park. So we'll come back one final time here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, call right now if you want these Tucker Wetmore tickets, August 20th, Gallagher Square, Petco Park. Caller 2, you've got 2 free tickets. All you need to do is call 877-767-4760, but do it right now. 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets for caller 2 to see Tucker Wetmore, August 20th, Gallagher Square at Petco Park. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. What's your hunch say? And I don't know if you've seen this or not.
I've not seen it, no.
Padres in baseball with ABS challenges, where would they rank? This is the hitters. This is the pitchers. This is adding it all up.
Yep.
ABS success and run value by team. So from 1 to 30, are they?
Yeah. All right.
Best or
So
worst?
I will say they're probably at best middle of the pack. So I'm going to tell again, we're watching the Padres every single night. So everything is magnified. I'm going to go 17th.
29th.
Oh my God. I tried giving them the benefit of the doubt there.
Now, I will say this.
Okay.
What is it really? Tampa Bay's 30th. Tampa's a very good team.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego's in the hunt. Pittsburgh's 28th. They've had a decent year. They're in a 500 team. It's not like these are all the worst teams is the point.
It's so funny.
They're 29th. though.
When I'm watching them, there are times I'm like, what are we doing?
What are they doing? I see
Why are
the
we
same
challenging
thing.
this? I mean, Machado, you and I talked about this
Yeah.
a couple of days ago. I'm like, I get it.
You're Manny.
I get
yeah,
it.
we get it.
Stop in the third. Remove your ego.
It's like a 1-0 count, dude.
Stop in the third inning using one just because you're Manny Machado.
And you,
That's
like,
the thing that
think.
bothers me.
You got it right. Yeah.
That's the thing that bothers me. That one, it's like, you know, let's be a little wiser with some of these. Firmina's obviously had some awful ones, some terrible ones. 29th, okay.
Is it overrated? Here are the top 5 in terms of successful.
Okay.
Minnesota, the Athletics, whoever they are, Cincinnati, Colorado, and the Angels.
Wow.
How about that? Those are your top 5.
That's awful.
Isn't that weird?
That's very weird.
Because you
I would
think baseball games are won on the margins and those
Yeah.
things matter.
And I would think that that's the equivalent of like dotting your I's and crossing your T's. But it could be just so small that it just does not have that type of an effect. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that just kind of throw me off a little bit.
So then there's another stat. Again, it's Fangraphs, and there's multiple ways to look
It's
at
okay.
it. The
I think it's
simple
interesting.
stat of challenge efficiency by team. The 2 most efficient teams are the Reds and the Athletics, but then 3 and 4 are the Red Sox and the Dodgers. So like on one hand, you got these bad teams. On the other hand, you got
two
good
really
teams.
good teams.
It's like, but I'm with you what you said earlier. I think ABS has been brilliant for the
Phenomenal.
sport of baseball. And I would expect more change to it. As in right now, teams get 2 challenges. Could that be tweaked or altered moving forward? Could it be 3 or more? But this is the future of baseball. It is going nowhere, would be my assumption.
Yeah, I wonder. Okay, I'll throw one out here. Just because it's the end of the game, if you use your 2, no matter what happens, you get 1 in the 9th. Like
And they're giving teams extra innings, ABS challenge.
they are.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it's almost like in the NBA, it's like the final 2 minutes you treat that differently.
Yeah, I do like that.
than
Use
you
it or
do-
lose it one.
What
Yeah.
if you just pony up? Like every team gets 2, but if you throw some cash out there, you get a 3rd. Or you ask the fans, hey, everyone scan the QR code.
I will tell you this. You know, if you do take some of the changes that baseball has made over the years, they've done a good job.
What's
They've done a
been the
really good job.
biggest? I'll give you a few.
Yeah.
Shift elimination.
Yeah.
Remember Manny Machado used to play in right field?
Yeah.
Just put him over there. Okay, shift elimination,
Mhm.
pitch clock, larger bases. You can only throw over the first 3 times.
Ghost runner.
Ghost runner, ABS. And maybe I'm missing something. Expanded playoff.
Significant changes, brother.
This is all under
Significant.
Manfred, by the way, who has been vilified and has said dumb crap. Can I say that? But he's also done a lot of positive change for the sport.
For a sport that is like the last one that wants to change. Those are
And all they do is make
Those are
changes. I
Yeah.
think they're bigger changes than the NFL has made or the NBA has made.
I think to me, the pitch clock, I think was huge. I think the wild card expanding the playoffs, I think was a no-brainer. And financially, it's a no-brainer. You know, you got more teams out there, obviously in the mix, more teams, more fans that think their team's got a shot at making the postseason deeper into your regular season. That one was a no-brainer. I think this ABS is real stuff. I think the ABS has been phenomenal. The thing I like about it the most, there is something about the NBA that's so freaking frustrating. everything takes so long. This doesn't take away from the game. A review in the NBA, you might as well go out there and run some errands because you're not getting back. It's just going to take forever.
Mm-hmm.
The ABS reminds me of tennis, where it's like, hey, we're challenging it. Camera comes down, the fans get into it, and all of a sudden you're looking to see, based off the technology, whether that ball was in or out. And I think for baseball, it's done that. And there is a little bit of like, you got the fans that are kind of part of that action when there is an ABS challenge.
Do you remember, Brent will remember this, we've talked about in the station 2 years ago, there was all this buzz for this idea of something called the Golden at Bat.
Oh, I do remember that.
Right, once per game, you could bring any hitter to the plate, regardless of whether they were due up or not.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, listen, I'm all for change to some extent.
No, that's a circus.
Like the idea,
that's
well, we have Ohtani on our team. And he's due up ninth, but we're down a run. So, we'd prefer to bat him here because he's not due up until 9.
That's clownish.
That's what I think.
To me, it's like let's add a 4-pointer or 5-pointer.
Hey, you're down 5.
Like yeah.
So you can take a 5-point shot.
No, that's clownish. To be honest with you, I'm still like the ghost runner to me, I still battle with a little bit.
I'm cool with it because they don't use it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm cool with it.
It's almost like in soccer, it's like penalty kicks. I'm like,
I know.
We
got
to
to
end it
you
on
could play
penalties.
for forever.
I know.
But the
hockey doesn't do hockey. It's like, we'll play forever.
I'm cool with Ghost Runner because I do wrap-up shows. And I used to do wrap-up shows in 2020 and 2021.
I understand that. And you're right.
And it takes forever.
At the end of the day, to not have that associated to the postseason is the right way of handling it.
Yeah. If it was in the postseason, I would lose my mind. Here's another rule they had.
Yeah.
DH in the National League. I mean, we spent 150 years without a DH in the National League. How odd is that? That would be like if the Western Conference had a 4-point shot and a 4-point specialist and the Eastern Conference didn't.
Well, the weirdest part about it is everyone just accepted it. It's
cool.
That's
pitchers,
the AL.
Yeah, pitchers hit in the NL.
Why? I don't know why we all just accepted that.
Wouldn't that be weird? Like if in the AFC you had 5 downs, but in the NFC you'd have 4 downs to get 10 yards.
All right, we need the Cardinals tonight. Bottom 4th, Phillies and Cardinals, nada.
Scoreless?
Yeah, scoreless.
What's going on with when did the D-backs play?
I think they're not until tonight.
Who are they playing right
now? Colorado, I think.
Oh, that's right. The Red Hot Rockies.
They got nothing going on. So I mean, that's kind of the crazy thing. The Padres are basically having to try to keep pace with a Diamondbacks team taking on the Rockies, and obviously we're watching it play out with Philadelphia and St. Louis. You almost can't blink here. I mean, if as good as they've been, they just lose one game tonight, you're back behind 2 games. And I didn't even know there's this. Darnay mentioned it. I forgot the Phillies got the tiebreaker. Now that's in my head, and that can't come out.
That plays into the percentages where the Phillies have like that 70 or 80% chance. Right. These other teams have the 50 or 40% chance. It's a tiebreaker, but the caveat is if they're tied. So who knows what's going to happen between now and I have to sneeze.
Padres, big underdogs in tonight's game because it is Bucher and it's Harrison on the other side. Yeah.
And I don't know how often the Brewers are losing back-to-back games. It happens. I mean, it's baseball, but you're 30 games over 500.
If I go tonight, which I will be going, and they lose, what happens? Does that mean
on you?
I can't.
You're telling me, by the way, you're going to show up maybe late. I'm like, why? Yeah. The show's over.
I got a couple things I got to do at home first, and then I'll go to the game.
No. I mean, yeah, I guess so.
I'm going as a media member. I'm not.
Are you going to get some post-game sound?
I've never been inside of. I've never been there as a media member for the Padres.
Tonight's a perfect night.
And brother, I lived at Petco for the first 5 years at Stadium Open, but I was there more on the business and the sales side, promotions.
I need you in there asking controversial questions.
Yep. What's
hey Manny?
Yeah, let's hear it. What do you have?
Yeah, I want to say, hey Manny. You need a day off, dude. What if you don't even ask a question? I want you to be the first question.
Yeah.
Say, Manny, you need a day off. Like you are scuffling, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a great. I like that. And I think Manny would probably turn to me and be like, "Hey, you might be right. Thank you, man." He might even hug me.
He's scuffling. He could use a day. Tell him, hey man, you could use a blow, dude.
Yep.
I'm Alan.
Or should I'll go to Ty. I'll go to Ty France and be like, "Hey, what's going on with your boy Manny?" Should I do that?
Or be like, who's the bigger Aztec alum, me or you? Alan Slee with San Diego Sports.
Nice to meet you.
How about that? All right, Alan will be there tonight. We're back tomorrow. Kevin Acee on the show tomorrow. Dimitri Sumler, Aztec defensive coordinator. is going to join us tomorrow.
Let's do it.
5:30 as well. All right. If you missed anything today, sportsst.com or the iHeartRadio app. Back tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Brent.
Good work out of you.
And Alan. Thank you, man. Are you
Good
talking to
work,
Brent? I'm John. Keep it
I'm
here.
looking at you, but a no looker. I'm actually talking to Brent.
Keep it here. 760. Peace.